Welcome everybody to our latest session of the Empire of the Ghouls. As usual, we're going to do a quick recap of what occurred last session, and then we'll get started with tonight's session. Team, you'll likely recall when we picked up last week, you guys were in the middle of the marshes on a skiff being piloted by a boatsman or a fisherman who was using the sort of long pole to take you guys across these murky waters. A lot of tree growth and overgrowth, so you're kind of moving through this very marshy lands, and then occasionally picking up your skiff, walking it across the land, plopping it down in another location, and then continuing on your journey. You guys had found your place, found a place here where you were in the water, passing underneath these very large trees. And as you were doing so, these two large primate-looking creatures started descending. So we found ourselves in a battle there with the two primate creatures trying to come down and lash out at you guys. Pretty quickly, some of you spotted a giant crocodile in the waters nearby as well. So we ended up finding ourselves in sort of a three-way combat. You guys were a little bit limited in mobility being on this skiff, though you did a pretty good job of using the space you had available to you. And some of you decided to just, walk over the edge into the shallowish water and fight through the kind of mud that tried to stick you into space. Most of you guys did a pretty good job navigating those waters a little bit more slowly than otherwise would be possible. At least one of you guys got stuck in the mud and needed some assistance getting pulled out. As these two ape-like creatures battled you guys, there was a significant usage of spells, particularly command, which I think we had 3 separate characters using to allow some space, force the creatures to kind of come back into the thick of it when they were getting away. Eventually, you guys were able to defeat the giant crocodile. One of the large ape creatures made its way away, departing the area. The other was being a bit cheeky up in a tree and kind of appearing, throwing a scum ball, and then kind of hiding within the limbs. Eventually, we had Grim climbing up the tree to chase after that creature. He did so, but the creature is able to take advantage of its natural arboreal skills, being able to move through the trees very easily, where Grim was unfortunately kind of stuck to the side of the tree, trying to navigate his way up. With that advantage, the creature lashed out and scored a very devastating blow on Grim a couple of times, puncturing through his armor in his very prone position against the tree there, and taking hold of him. Again, we had some additional usage of magic here to force the creature to drop Grim, who kind of fell through the air, clunked on the ground. The rest of the team members were able to apply some healing pretty quickly to Grim to save him from dying straight out. And you guys were able to defeat that creature in the tree, making it fall as well. With this creature defeated, you guys contemplated what to do next. Did you want to spend some time here resting or continue on your way? The idea being that at least one of these creatures had fled and was sort of at large. You guys decided to quickly be on your way. So you guys all got back in the skiff, and the fishermen piloted the ship, or the boat I should say, back through the marshy area. A bit of time passed by when you found yourself moving through another location of the marshes, and spotted with Grim at the front of the boat, was able to spot another boat approaching, and this boat was manned by several trollkin. The trollkin women were approaching and essentially called out a "who goes there" kind of deal, and they questioned your group pretty quickly. You guys were able to explain what your purpose was here, where you were headed, and this gave at least enough confidence for the Trollkin warrior ladies to escort you back to Haldremos, which is where you were headed anyway. As you made your way to Haldremos, you eventually found, as you got there sort of in the middle of the night, real early in the morning when it was still dark out, that this is a city on stilts. So you can think of this again, still a very marshy area with a lot of wooden platforms connecting buildings, and all the buildings being on stilts on these platforms that elevates them off of the water. You could see several of these skiffs kind of able to move around the area. Most folks navigated using the wooden platforms, but occasionally people would jump in a skiff just to get from one end of Haldremos to the other, depending on how far you had to go. The fisherman you were with bid you farewell. Some of you guys tipped him some extra gold, which he was very appreciative of. He decided to spend another night here in Haldremos, or a night, I should say, before making his way in the morning back to Marsh Hollow, the village he got you guys from. You guys were able to meet with the queen here in Haldremos. You probably recall you spotted 2 thrones. One of them was unoccupied. One of them bore an elf-marked woman who had a very prominent scar on her face. As it was the middle of the night, she sort of briefly entertained you guys or engaged with you and said essentially be her guest, come back in the morning and explain what you're actually doing there. So you guys were escorted to these barracks. The Trollkin warrior ladies asked you not to go exploring and, be respectful of where you're at and those types of things, which you guys certainly were. So you guys managed to sleep through into the morning, woke up and found your escorts outside. Basically, they kind of came in and said, like, are you ready to see the queen? She's ready for you. You guys quickly gathered your things, did a few brief preparations before you made your way to see the queen. She introduced herself as Thorgerd, and she was able to give you a little bit of information. You guys explained that you are returning the sword and shield that had an inscription on it. She had collected those from you earlier in the night, and then this morning explained to you the importance of them, that this was a fallen warrior from Haldremos. You guys pretty much surmised that yourself based on the inscription. She was very thankful to have the sword and shield back and said that they would be awarded to a future Haldremos warrior at an appropriate time. She also explained that the individual who had fell was a very prominent warrior in their society, and so there would be a great celebration given now that the arms had been returned and the fate of their sister had been ascertained. She invited you all to attend and explained that this celebration includes various games of skill, challenges, you might think of them as a way of honoring the fallen and showing your might. You guys were happy to oblige in those skills those competitions, those skills fests. The first skill fest you guys found yourself in was a pair of challenges that fell under the feats of precision. The first feat of precision was an archery match, and each of you guys had a chance to take some shots at the bullseye. We had all of you, beside Grim, participating in this, with the worst scorer there being unfortunate Barnaby, who wasn't able to hit the mark very often. And the best score was very close. We had both Laud and Runak scoring very high. Runak slightly edged Laud out and won the competition as a whole. The next feat of precision event was an axe throwing contest. Once again, several of you participated. Archgale decided to sit this one out. The rest of you guys participated and had a variety of success here, you could say. Unfortunately, it was once again Barnaby who just didn't seem to have the knack with these weapons. He was perhaps trying to call upon his more common way of using his fighting skills, but that wasn't allowed here in the axe throwing contest, as it was obviously magical. And so he had to rely on his natural skills, which unfortunately didn't take him too far in this particular contest. We had very good showings by both Caliban and by Grim, but in a full, pure, clean sweep was Runak, who scored a perfect score on every single throw. An incredible feat that everybody around congratulated him, and there was very much celebration among the Haldra here. In fact, one of the Haldra who scored pretty well declined to even do sort of a playoff, if you were, to try to beat the rolls there of Runak, as it was deemed unneeded based on his perfect showing. You guys were then led to the next feat, and these now fall into category known as feats of strength. This next challenge that is up is hammer throw, and this way it's been explained to you is that there is a large rock tied to a rope, and you're going to essentially walk on this wooden platform, kind of spinning as you do, and get to a perfect spot where you release the rope and cast the rock as far forward as you possibly can into the marsh. And there are various lines drawn out there to represent the distances from the platform, and the person who throws the farthest will be deemed the victor of this event. So team, that is the quick recap of what occurred last week. What did I miss there that anybody would like to add? Uh-oh, no additions this time. That's a rarity.
I think you got it.
I have a question. Maybe someone can answer. Who's the name of the fallen warrior that we're doing this festival in honor of? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
That is a good question. Anybody have that in their notes?
I do. I just need to find it. 1 second.
Well, I'll spoil it for you. It's Rangrid Iron Eyes.
Yep. There it is.
For Iron Eyes.
All right, guys. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and bring you guys over to the scoreboard where we're tracking these various feats and competitions. All right, so we found ourselves on the scoreboard here. So as mentioned, you guys are currently in the feat of strength, and this is the hammer throw. So first, if you're wanting to participate in the hammer throw, please type in yes in chat. All right, I'm seeing 5 yeses. Okay, so no to Archgale, 6 yeses. All right, so Archgale's out, and it looks like the rest of folks are participating. So we will start with Barnaby as usual here. Barnaby, you are given this rock, which is relatively heavy. It is tied to a rope, and they sort of show you what to do. In fact, a couple of the Huldra will go ahead and perform their task first. So you'll notice the first Huldra makes her way up, spins the rock pretty perfectly, gets it right to the line of where she wants to throw it, and then sails it out across the marsh. As she does, you can see it lands relatively decent distance. You kind of eyeball it and think it probably could have gone a bit farther. Maybe she released it a little bit low in this regard, but you get the idea of what it is that you're intended to do here, and you are up next, Barnaby. So the first part of this process is making sure that you spin appropriately and release at the right time, and this comes down to a dexterity saving throw. So Barnaby, please make me a dexterity saving throw.
So when I go up, I'm gonna go there and start pumping my hands like, yes, let's do this, right? Because of course,
All right, so you succeed on this check, meaning that you step appropriately, you spin appropriately to get the good rotation, you stay behind the line before you release your rock. Now give me a athletics check.
Oh, that's simple, Adam. You're giving me the easy ones.
All right.
There you go.
So essentially you get it, you got your position correct, you've got your feet in the right place, but maybe you're looking down, it's hard to say. You kind of throw this and it kind of skips in the water, but sinks very quickly because of the weight of the rock. And you hear behind you a few people kind of like, they don't chuckle, but you almost hear like sounds of sort of like sadness, like ooh, or people maybe embarrassed for you as the rock didn't go quite far at all. You notice some of the attendants kind of looking back around and quickly wanting to move on to the next contestant. So Caliban, you are up next. Same deal, dexterity saving throw. Caliban, this is actually a failure. So what this means is that you spin around, you do what you can, but as you release the rock, your foot goes across the line, making this an invalid throw. Go ahead and roll your athletics check to see how far it goes, but you will see the people who are monitoring this kind of look down and point at the line, and essentially they say you're disqualified before your rock even lands. It gets out there a ways, farther than the first 2 contestants so far, but unfortunately, yes, it won't count. And you notice another one of the Huldra kind of starts making her way up there. Okay, as she steps up, you notice that she steps perfectly, gets this almost perfect rotation, throws it out, gets this absolute beautiful arc that sails and continues sailing and sailing, and then finally splashes with a loud splash deep into the marsh. And there is a huge holler of cheer that goes up into the air, and you hear people saying, "That's the best throw I've ever seen!" And then Glory, you're asked to tend next.
You got this, Glory. And Bardic.
Runak also cheers too when everyone else is. He's like cheering on the woman.
Excellent. Yes. Okay, I'll say this applies. So, yep, you have no problem stepping up to the line and doing this appropriately. Athletics check.
I'm bardically inspiring you as well, so you can add a +8 to that.
I'm going to add the +8.
That will be a 1d8, but yep, you can roll that.
But wait, that's acrobatics, not athletics.
That is indeed
Oh,
acrobatics, yes. So what is your athletics bonus? Okay, yep, we'll take that.
Plus, it would be a +4 more if you took the first roll.
Okay, so we'll do that because usually first roll is what's going to count. So that would be a 23. The bonus that you're applying through inspiration, I will say that counts. However, I will say that you do notice some of the other Huldra kind of looking about, and you notice that they kind of start cheering in a different way. You get the impression that maybe they're doing some inspiring type abilities as well. All right, so with that, that is going to put you up to a 28, if I've got my math right. So you have stepped appropriately, and you've thrown it sort of over the line, and it seems to sail quite well. You will notice many people cheering here. You will notice a couple of people kind of maybe whispering a bit under their breath. And then next up is Grim.
All right, hey, good toss. All right,
Hey,
feel
you
the
got
weight
this,
of
Graham.
it. Yeah, good. All right, here we go. Let's see, spin around. All right, dex saving throw.
Unfortunately,
Be inspired.
remind me, is inspiration can be used on skills and saves, or is it just skills?
Let me double check.
I think it's everything.
I think it's any 1d20 roll, but you know.
I think it's a D20 roll or something.
Yeah, it's when they fail a D20 test, or like you can just add it to any D20 test.
Okay, so you're wanting to use that on this roll here, Grim?
Yes, please.
All right, so the DC for this is just 10, so you don't have to roll. That is a success at that point. As you manage to align your feet properly, go ahead and make an athletics check.
All right, since I'm a super athlete, it's with advantage here.
All right, you wind up as best you can. You chuck it over the area of the marsh. And it lands a decent distance, but doesn't come close to Glory's massive throw there. Okay, next up, I think we had both Laud and Runak still competing. So, Laud, you'll be up next.
All right, so dex save.
Yes, all right, yeah, no problem whatsoever. You spin this perfectly. Athletics check. All right, so as you release this, you got your feet in the right spot, but you're actually aiming so low, you hit the platform that you're standing on, and it just tips over and then falls in the water. You hear once again
Perfect.
a bunch of people in the background just kind of, ooh, and you kind of look at each other and looking back around, and they try to hurry you out there and let Runak come in next. All right, Runak, dex saving throw as you take your spot. Oh, unfortunately, as you step up, you actually put your foot over the line so far that you slip off the front of the platform and splash into the marsh.
Oh, jeez.
As you come up out of the water, throwing your hands in the air, looking about, you see one of the Huldra leans down and grabs you by like the scruff of your neck and just lifts you up. You can see the muscles like in her arm just kind of flex as she pulls you out and sets you back on the platform.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You notice a couple of the Huldra speaking to one another, and then you see one of the larger Huldra kind of moves up towards the front, and she takes one of these hammer throws, and you hear people in the back cheering her on. She steps up. Her foot is just barely behind the line as she makes it and gets it properly as she throws it. She then takes the rock and throws it as it sails across the water. It is flying. You see people kind of looking, seeing where it's going to land, and it lands far but short of where Glory's has landed. There is a cheer that goes up once again. You notice several of these Trollkin warriors make their way up to you, Glory, and kind of start slapping you on the back. You hear, "Oh, it's the greatest throw I've ever seen." You notice several of them actually go over to you, Laud, as well, and they say, "Oh, congratulations, congratulations."
Thanks.
All right, that is a
You
win.
cheered them on.
All right, that is a win for your team, and you have earned 1 grace point for your team, Glory. Okay, with this competition,
Nice job, bud.
with this competition complete, the Huldra leads you guys back off the platform more towards that center island, if you recall, where all the food and all the supplies are. You notice there's a little break here as the Huldra go around, start grabbing like bites to eat, little snacks, that kind of thing. And you're all encouraged to do so as well. After a bit of time of that, you notice the next event is called for. And you hear the Huldra, one of the leaders here, is saying that this is what is known as Crown the Kings, another feat of strength. So Crown the Kings, you are explained what this is. Basically, you're taken forward to this area of the island where you notice that there are these large boulders and there are 9 barrels set up. Each of the boulders goes from left to right, and so do the barrels, and each of the boulders are slightly bigger as you go from left to right. So you hear one of the Huldra points to the smallest stone, which she refers to as the Ungbarnstein, or the baby stone. That is the smallest one. And essentially what you see them explain how this works is the reason this is called Crown the Kings. All of these barrels have these drawings of very goofy looking caricatures of dwarves drawn on them. And what the goal is you pick up the stone, place it on the barrel, and then move to the next one, pick it up, place it on the barrel. And basically, who can ever do that the fastest, get the furthest in the placing the rocks on the barrels, and do it the quickest is declared the winner. So this obviously is going to involve having significant strength to be able to lift these barrels, as of course it is a feat of strength. If you would like to participate in this event, please type yes in chat. All right, so 6 of you, all of you except for Barnaby, and we will start with Archgale. So, Archgale, how this...
I put yes.
Oh, sorry, did I miss you? Oh, yeah, at the very end? Yeah, I said 6 of you, right?
Laud sitting up.
Right, so 6 of you, yep. So Archgale's left of you, just alphabetically, he's first, Barnaby. So yeah, Archgale, you'll be first. So how this is going to work is you are going to approach the first stone. Assuming you have enough strength to lift it, you will be able to do so. And then you're going to try to place this on the barrel. The skill for this is going to be an athletics check. So go ahead and throw me the first athletic checks as you approach the baby stone and you try to lift it up and put it on the barrel. All right, you are able to do so, and you are able to do so quickly. So what this means is that on the first stone, you are able to do this in 2 beats. What this means is there is a drummer nearby that's sort of beating and hitting on the drum in this very rhythmic fashion. You were able to pick the stone up, put it on the barrel in 2 beats of time. You then quickly approach the second stone. Another athletics check here, Archgale. Oh, this time you are able to do it in 1 beat of time very quickly. You then move to the next stone and you try to lift it, and it is unfortunately too heavy for your strength score to be able to lift at all. You notice the companions around you here, all the competitors looking at you as you're straining. And then you realize it is just not happening. They kind of look to you and, oh, good try, and kind of clap you on the back. All right, Barnaby, you are ushered up next, and you are facing off against the first stone. Athletics check. You manage to lift the first stone in 3 beats of time. You then quickly move to the next stone, another athletics check.
Here we go. Even gooder.
Oh, unfortunately, a bit slow on this one. It takes you 4 beats of time as you manage to get it on top of the barrel. You then approach the third stone, another athletics check. Oh, once again, you're straining so much to lift this up, another 4 beats. You approach the fourth stone, athletics check.
Is this one gnome size, I hope?
No, they keep getting bigger and bigger. All right, this one you managed to do in 3 beats of time, lifting it up. You approach the fifth stone, athletics check. All right, on this one, it takes you a full 5 beats to lift it. And you approach the sixth stone there, you put your arms under it, you try to lift it. Oh, it's too heavy for you.
I clap and wave my arms and flex my muscles.
You notice some of the Haldra kind of impressed that someone of your stature was able to lift even this many stones. The stones are then reset, placed back into their normal locations, and all eyes fall to Caliban. Caliban on the baby stone, athletics check.
Good job, Barnaby. There we go.
All right, you're able to do this in 1 beat of time, Caliban, quickly scooping it up and placing it on top. You approach the second stone, athletics check.
Shuffles over, scoops it up. Oh,
You are able to do this in 3 beats of time. You approach the third stone, quickly trying to lift it. This one is going to take you 4 beats of time.
there's some epically bad rolls. There we go. Saving it up. Saving
You
it up.
approach the fourth one, trying to recover here.
There we go.
Yes, you were able to do this in 1 beat of time. You
Figure out
notice
the technique of it.
Yeah, you notice some of the Haldra now kind of whispering and here say, wow, that was really good. You approach the fifth stone. You're able to do this in 3 beats of time. You get to the sixth
awkward.
stone, starting to sweat a bit. You try to lift this one, athletics check. You do manage to lift it, and in fact, you do it in 2 beats of time. You approach the 7th stone. This thing is an absolute monster. You put your arms on it. Oh, you can tell this is super heavy. Athletics check. You manage to lift this one in 3 beats of time. You approach the final stone, and you hear behind you people chanting Vinmaga, Vinmaga. You put your arms under this one. You do everything you can to lift it. It is too heavy for you, Caliban.
Mid-maga.
It's a good try. It's a good try.
All right, so far you've gotten the farthest, and you are the leader in this competition. The next up is Glory. So Glory, starting with the baby stone, athletics check. All right, you managed to lift this in 2 beats of time. You approach the second stone. You managed to lift this one in 3 beats of time. You approach the third stone. Also 3 beats of time, setting a rhythm. Getting to the fourth stone. This one you managed to do in 1 beat of time. Scooping it up rapidly and plopping it on the barrel, moving to the fifth stone. Once again, very quickly, 1 beat of time. You start to hear some gossip coming in behind you. Sixth stone. This one you managed to do in 3 beats of time, or I'm sorry, 2 beats of time. You approach the 7th stone. This is the one that Caliban was only able to get to. That is going to be 2 beats once again. As you approach the final stone, you hear the chanting of Vinmaga going out again. You put your arms under the stone. You try to lift it. It is too heavy for you, Glory. You do all your effort. Unfortunately, it just can't be done. You hear some cheering behind you, and you hear some people speaking once again, and you can hear some folks saying, overhear someone say, we're going to have to get Half-Reed up here. She's the only one that can lift the Vinmaga. All right, next is one of the Huldromos. All right, you're going to see she heads on up there, does 3 beats of time, 3 beats of time, then is able to do one in 1 beat of time, and then 2 beats of time, 3 beats of time, and then finally 4 beats of time. She cannot go further. Grim, you are up next. First stone, athletics check.
Oh, good job, guys. All right, here we go.
You do this in 1 beat of time, scooping it up and throwing it down. Second one. And remind me, did you say your ability allowed you to make all these checks at advantage?
Yeah, remarkable athlete.
All right, so that is going to be 1 beat of time on the second stone. Third stone.
Okay.
All right, third stone. You do this in 1 beat of time. You start to hear a rumble of shock all around you. Fourth stone. This one you managed to do in 3 beats of time. We move to the 5th stone. You do this one in 1 beat of time. We get to the 6th stone. You do this one in 2 beats of time. The 7th stone, this is the last one your companions have been able to lift. This takes you a full 3 beats of time. And we get to the final stone, the Vinmaga. No one has lifted this yet, Grim. You approach this stone, you put your arms under it, you try to heft it up with all your might. Make an athletics check. You are able to do this in 2 beats of time. All right, you hear a big cheer goes out as you are the first competitor that has managed to lift the Vinmaga. You hear a lot of people talking. You can hear that's going to be a hard score to beat. All right, we know Laud's sitting this one out. We move to Runok. Runok, first stone.
Do I think they would look down on someone bowing out in the presence of such a glorious performance?
No, you saw the same thing happen before where you did so well in the axe throwing contest that they decided not to even try to challenge you. So if you are to praise another contestant and say, I'm going to step out, that's clearly an ideal effort, they don't look down upon that.
Then that's what Runok will do towards Grim. As he sees him lift the last stone, he's like, "Oh, I could never do that. I bow to your superiority, Grim."
Oh, come on.
All right, you notice now this absolutely Hulk of a Huldra woman steps forward, and you hear people chanting, Half-Reed, Half-Reed, Half-Reed. And you see she looks at you all, stretches her muscles out. And you see she looks at the first stone, shakes, and goes into a violent rage as she starts picking the stones up and quickly placing them on top of the barrels. All right, with this effort, she scores 1 beat of time. No, I'm sorry, that will be 2 beats of time, 2 beats of time, 1 beat of time, 1 beat of time, 1 beat of time, 1 beat of time. So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Grim, you have... I've only done 5 so far. Hang on. All right, the next two, one beat of time on the Vinmaga. She struggles mightily. It takes her 4 beats of time to lift that one. So doing a quick check, we've got a total of 13 beats of time for her effort. Grim has 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What did I just say was hers?
13.
21.
15.
No, she 13. She beat me by 1.
Yes, 13. All right, so this woman named Halfreed who approaches and lifts these in just an absolute rage, placing them onto the barrels. You can see when she's finally done all this exertion on the Vinmaga, she places it up top. You see she quickly looks over to the drummer, and there's someone doing like a little tally here, and they shout, "The winner is Halfreed!" And you see she puts an arm up and kind of starts walking in a circle, and you notice all the Huldra slapping her on the back, very, very happy with her efforts.
Good job. That was a good run.
All right, yes, several people come up to you as well here, Grim, and they're just very impressed with your efforts. You can hear them say, "Oh, that was amazing. I didn't think there was any way, but Halfreed's the champion. She was the champion the last 3 times running, so you had an uphill battle."
Ah, she deserves it.
All right, there's a big cheer once again, and you notice that with this competition complete, the 4 main events, you might think of them as, are done, and the winner of the Crown the King's effort is asked to tap the kegs and give the first drink to Queen Thorgerd, who takes it and drinks of it very heartily. And then the second drink is given to Halfreed as the winner of Crown the Kings. And then, of course, everybody else is allowed to take flagons of mead. There's various drinks, and more food just keeps coming out and being placed on the center table. As it's eaten, you can see people taking big bites of meat. You can see that there are like fried or stewed veggies. You can see all different sorts of foods in the center table, and you're all offered to take as much as you like. Everyone's sort of eating to their fill, very happy with these efforts. You notice the Queen, after about 20 minutes or so of you guys having a chance to relax, kind of rest your arms a bit from all this heavy lifting, you hear her call out and say, "Next up will be the melee trials. Test your mettle against a random opponent, and we shall see who comes out on top." If you would like to participate in the melee trials, please put a yes in chat. Alrighty, I am counting 6 here. Alright, so, alrighty, we will start with Archgale. So, Archgale, this is a little different. How this works essentially is a combination of all of your abilities in a melee trial. So think of this as there's a section of the island that's kind of, I won't say roped off, I'm going to call it rocked off, because there's rocks set up in a big circle kind of pattern. You go inside the circle of rocks along with your opponent. At first, we'll see who is assigned as your opponent. So please roll me a 1d20. If you get a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, it's one of your fellow competitors or one of fellow PCs. If you get anything higher than that, it's one of the Huldra. All right, with a 7, you'll be facing one of the Huldra. All right, so how this is going to work here, Archgale, is you're going to make a combination of 3 checks. The first check, and don't make any checks until I fully explain these. The first check is going to be a strength athletics check. The second check is going to be dexterity acrobatics check. The third is a special constitution check that has a bonus equal to the highest hit die. If you're a multi-class character and have multiple hit die, you take the highest one. If you wish, you can swap out one of those 3 rolls with an attack with one of your weapons. This essentially represents your efforts in sort of a high-level summary of how you do inside the melee trial. So, for starters, do you wish to make the athletics check, or would you like to swap that for an attack roll?
I'll swap that for an attack roll.
All right, go ahead and throw me an attack roll. Okay, so we got an 8. Next, go ahead and give me a dexterity acrobatics check. All right, plus 4, that's going to get you up to 12. Third is a constitution score. I'm sorry, constitution check. So first, just throw a constitution check from your sheet. All right, and then go ahead and throw a hit die. This doesn't spend the hit die, so if on the sheet it takes it away, you can give it back to yourself, but this just represents your efforts in fighting through this. All right, so that is a hit die of 11. So let's see, I'm seeing 21, 25. You scored a total of 33. And your Huldra opponent scored... Your Huldra opponent, unfortunately, very much on her game here. She is able to best you essentially in every area of this combat. So she's able to hit more than you. She's able to dodge more of your attacks than you're able to dodge. And overall, after the end of this, she scored enough hits upon you that you're starting to get quite exhausted by the time it is called to an end. Your opponent is declared the victor. Okay, next up is Barnaby as Archgale's led outside of the Circle of Rocks. Barnaby, you are placed in the center again. So again, it's Strength Athletics, Dexterity, Acrobatics, that special con save, con check plus the hit die, and you can swap one of those for an attack roll if you wish. How would you like to proceed?
All right, I'd like to make the athletic check. I'd like to make that an attack roll instead.
All right, go ahead and throw an attack roll. Okay, a 23, starting off strong. Go ahead and throw a Dexterity Acrobatics check. Okay, plus 19, that gets us up to, what is that, 42? And then we have a Constitution check.
On the con check, is that just me rolling just con with my modifier? Is that what it is?
Yes. Yep. So it won't be a saving throw, just a con check. Yep, just like that. All right, that's going to put us up to 44, and then you get to roll your highest hit die, whatever that is. 10, so that's going to put us up to 54. All right, so you've scored a 54. Oh, and we forgot to check who your opponent is. So please roll me a 1d20. If you get a 1 through a 4, okay, so you are facing off a Huldra. She has scored 59, so you are very evenly matched here, Barnaby. You're kind of trading blows. It's very close, but in the end, she manages to edge you out just by a little.
I slight bow to her and congratulate her as I yet again walk off the field with pride.
Excellent. Pretty quickly, Caliban is called up next. Caliban, please roll me a d12 now to see if your competitor is a fellow PC or a Huldra.
Okay.
3. So let's see. 1, 2, and Blad said he's stepping out of this one, so that'll be Runok. So it's actually you versus Runok. So we'll start with you first, Caliban. Your strength athletics, if you'd like to make that.
Good luck, my friend.
You as well.
Okay, 12, and then we move to the Dexterity Acrobatics. Remember, you can swap one of these 3 for an attack roll if you wish. So Dexterity Acrobatics.
I'd like to swap this one for an attack, or for an attack.
Perfect. Yeah, go ahead and throw your attack roll. A 22. Okay, that gets us up to 34. Now we're on to that Constitution check. 19.
All right.
I believe that gets us up to 53, and then a hit die. 5, so that's going to be 58.
Oh, jeez.
Feel good. I feel good.
In response, let's see how Runok fares. Runok, go ahead and throw a Strength Athletics if you like.
So I'm going to replace this one with the attack roll.
Okay, sure. Attack roll first then. Okay, 19, starting off strong. Then we got Dexterity Acrobatics.
All right, and can I use a luck point on this?
I would say so. Yeah, we've been kind of allowing usage of abilities here in the competitions.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 14. That puts us up to 33. Then we need a Constitution check. 20. That'll be 53, and then a hit die. That puts us up to 60. So you and Caliban are very evenly matched. Once again, trading blows, dodging, ducking, jiving, doing everything you can. At the last moment, you score a hit as Caliban overextends himself just slightly to be edged out as the victor.
Well played.
You fought bravely and wisely, Caliban.
All right, Runak, you're the first competitor that has moved on to the second level of these challenges. All right, Glory, a D10 now. And if you get anything higher than a 1, you're against a Haldra. Okay, it's you versus one of the Haldra. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Okay.
A 12, okay. And then an acrobatics check.
I'll use attack on this one.
All right, swapping the acrobatics for the attack roll. Sure thing. Go ahead and make that attack roll. 12 and 15, that puts us up to 27. Constitution check. All right, 17. What's that going to put us up to? 44, I believe. And then a hit die.
Where is that?
Should be
I
like
think it's under stress.
It's
Yeah.
a D12. Let's roll a D12.
that works. Yeah, so let's see. That was that 46, if I added that up right. 47. All right, so 47 for Glory. All right, Glory, your Haldra competitor. You managed.
And just a heads up, our hit dice are adding our con modifier too when we roll them that way. So
Yep, yeah, it is supposed to. Right. So what is your con modifier there, Glory? We'll add that to your total.
It would be +2.
Okay, so that your total is actually a 49 then. Your competitor only scored a 37, so you managed to best your Haldra competitor. All right, you also move on to the next level of these challenges. And then finally we have Grim. Grim, athletics check.
All right.
All right, and you get advantage only on the athletics check. Is that right?
That's correct.
All right, so we start with a very good 26 there, then acrobatics.
Yeah, right. I'm going to attack instead.
All right, swapping acrobatics for an attack roll. 14, that's going to put us up to 40. All right, constitution check. 55 plus a hit die. All right, that puts us up to 68. All right, you, of course, are against a Haldra competitor. Let's see how well she did. Yes, you managed to defeat her pretty handedly. All right, so we've got 3 PCs that have moved on to the next level of the ranks. We also have 3 Haldra in the next level as well. So we are going to go to the tiebreaker round. Let's see, the first one who's still in is Glory, actually. So Glory, go ahead and we will do this process again. So strength athletics check. All right, starting with 12, then we go to the acrobatics.
And then use a attack roll.
All right, swapping the attack roll. All right, that puts us up to 24. Then we've got the constitution check. All right, plus 5, that's 29, and then a hit die. Five, that's going to be a 34. All right, and of course, since we only had a total of 6 combatants left, go ahead and roll me a D6, Glory. If you get a 1 or a 2, you're going to be up against one of your fellow PCs. Anything higher, a Haldra. Okay, a 2, so it was actually you versus Runak in the second round. So we do a quick tally, make sure I didn't get anything wrong there. That was 10 plus 12 is 22, plus 12 is 34. Yeah, so 34 for Glory on round 2. Okay, Runak, you are up. Please make me an athletics check.
okay, I'm gonna do the attack instead for this.
All right, attack roll first. 16, okay. And then we move to the acrobatics. Plus 4, that puts us up to 20. Constitution check. All right, that puts us up to 37 plus a hit die. 47. So yes, once again, Runak, you are able to best your fellow party member Glory here as the two of you trade blows, and you are able to kind of swing around to his backside and kind of crack him in the back near the end, and you are declared the victor. All right, that takes care of 2 of our PCs. So next up is Grim. Grim, please roll me a D6. Or actually, it won't matter because there's no other PCs left, so you are definitely against a Huldra. So let's see, strength athletics first. Starting with an 18 because of your advantage, and then we move to the acrobatics.
I'll do an attack.
All right, 21. We got 34 so far. Con check. All right, that's going to put us up to 51. Yeah, and then a hit die. All right, that is going to put us up to 57.
That's with the 18 in athletics, right?
Yes, yep. So 18 and 21 is 39 plus 17, 49, 56. Oh, 62, my bad.
Yeah.
I think the first time I added it, I gave you the advantage. I think the second time I did it. Okay, so you're up against a competitor who is 48. So you managed to best that Huldra competitor and come out on top. Okay, so we move to the final round. So we've got Runak, Grim, and 2 Huldra remaining. And that is going to be essentially like the semifinals, you might think of it as. Let's see, Grim, go ahead and throw me a D4 now. 1 means you against Runak. Okay, so it's you against the Huldra. I'm going to go ahead and move these scores off to the side for the moment. All right, this is now round 3. So, yeah, go ahead and start with athletics check there, Grim. Okay, that's a 20. Then we know you're doing that attack roll next. Okay, 33. And then con check.
Oof.
Plus 6, that's going to be 39. Finally,
Getting
a hit
tired.
die. Plus 12. I think I got 40, or hang on, I think I got 51 total. All right, 51 against your Huldra opponent. You do manage to defeat her, putting yourself in the finals. All right, Runak, you, of course, against the other Huldra. Go ahead and make your checks as well.
Okay. Attack for the first one.
All right. Okay, 14. 27. 32. 42. All right. Let's see how well your opponent does. You managed to edge her out just slightly. And this makes the finals between Runak and Grim. All right, Grim, go ahead and give me that athletics check.
There's so much blood out here. Good luck to you, too.
All right, we're starting with a 23. And then we've got the attack roll. Ooh, 48. That's going to be tough to beat. 58. 72, the highest score of the entire event. All right,
You got it,
Runak,
buddy.
no pressure.
I used all my luckies.
All right, so we started off with an attack roll 24, then we move to that acrobatics check. Whoa, 47. Constitution check. All right, that's going to be 60 plus a hit die. 64.
Ah.
All
Good
right.
fight.
An absolute slobber knocker of a fight here as you guys both put up really good efforts, doing the best you can, but in the end, the fighter skills of Grim seems to wear out Runak, and he takes the victory, winning the melee trials and gaining another grace point for the team.
For Iron Eyes.
Well done, guys. That was a great fight.
He is the strongest.
Yeah, no worries. Here, have a beer.
Yeah, I'll have a beer. My God.
Yes, and there's much of that going around. You see people handing off drinks, grabbing onto more bites of food. There is just an absolute celebration of merriment here. And once again, Grim, you hear a lot of the Haldra seeming very impressed with you. You can notice a few of them from the side kind of looking at you. You get a kind of a little bit of a strange feeling as you notice one of the little quadrant of them that are kind of gathered. They're kind of looking at you, and you overhear, yeah, he's probably big enough to take the husband. All right, as you're kind of walking through this area, grabbing your food and your drink and enjoying the festivities, it is another bit of downtime here as everybody kind of sits and takes a breather and a lot of celebration and cheering. And this goes on for probably another 10 minutes or so. And you notice then that some of the Haldra are preparing the next event. In this area, you can see they bring out these cages that you spotted before. And you can hear a slow chant comes around from some of the Haldra, primarily the ones kind of dressed in robes. There's about 4 of them. They look to be older than the warriors. You can see they have this like long gray hair that seems to stretch underneath these brown hooded kind of cloaks that they wear. They're kind of all gathered about in this area looking at the cages, and then they pull them out. Each of the cages is currently covered by like a linen drape, you could think of it as. They also come around with this large barrel, and it's kind of rolled on this little wooden platform. And you can see that one of them steps up to the barrel and has this large metal ladle as she starts moving it around inside the barrel. As she does this, you can see some of the Haldra beginning to look around, and some of them begin to start lining up, and you're wondering what in the world is this event. And as some of you guys are looking in this different area, one of the Haldra ladies who you quite thoroughly impressed will come over to your group and she will say, "Do you wish to take part in the snake handling competition? This is one of our most honored traditions." If you would like to take part in the snake handling tradition, please type yes in chat.
Are they poisonous?
You see she smiles towards you and says, "Of course."
All right, I'm in.
All right, I'm seeing 6 yeses. All right, so we will have Glory sitting out of this one, and the rest of the team is participating. All right, excellent. Let's go ahead and reveal this one. All right, the snake handling event. So you notice that the lead woman, this woman Trollkin, who is sort of stirring, she kind of steps up proud, and you notice all the other Haldra quiet down for a moment. She then addresses the group, and she says, "Lady Sif, our patron and protector, bear witness to the bravery and dedication of those gathered here, and bless them for their courage and commitment. May their acts find favor with you, that you shield their bodies from the venom without, and open their minds to the weird and wondrous properties of the elixir within. Fix your gaze on them now. Smile upon the worthy, we pray." Each of you that has decided to participate, one of these women, they call them crones. If you guys know what crones are, we'll call her a crone. She ladles a portion of this foul-smelling concoction from the barrel and brings it over to each of you in a shallow bowl. And they watch you carefully as you are expected to imbibe this concoction.
What does imbibe mean?
Drink.
Just kidding. Good
All right.
luck.
I,
Drink.
So we'll start from left to right on this one. Archgale, you're first. Please give me a Constitution saving throw. Oh, man, this foul liquid, Archgale, it hits you in the head, actually. As you drink it, your mind begins to start swimming. You're having a difficult time with this. I'll tell you the results after everybody else makes their save. Next up is Barnaby. Barnaby, you managed to succeed on this save. You taste the effects, you can feel it, but you're not noticing a huge effect, just a minor one. Next up is Caliban.
Feeling about this.
Oof, yeah, your head is swimming, Caliban. You think you're seeing spots in your vision after you imbibe this really strange concoction. All right, next up is Grim. Yes, Grim, it's pretty foul, but maybe not as bad as some of the things you've had. You managed to fight through this. Yeah, it's not affecting you too much. We'll move on to Laud. Oof, this really hits your head, Laud. You can feel that this is not going well. And then finally, Runak, you said you are immune to poison?
Not immune. I have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned.
All right, you have advantage on this saving throw. Go ahead and make it. Unfortunately, even with your natural resistance against poison, this does take effect. All right, if you did not roll at least a 15 on your saving throw, you have failed the save. You are considered poisoned for an hour. So this is a long-lasting poison. If you succeeded, you suffer only minor hallucinatory effects. So you can think of this as occasionally maybe things seem to move in your vision. Those of you that fail, this happens as well, but you have the additional effect of being poisoned. So again, the minor hallucinatory effects, you can think of this as slight things in your vision kind of moving. Occasionally maybe forms seem to shape in like the smoke of someone's pipe that they're smoking, or maybe a splash of the ale or the mead that is drinking hits the table and seems to take the shape of some type of person or creature and move along the table as you're watching it in shock and awe. Okay, as each of you... Yeah, go ahead, Runak.
I don't think I like this, everybody. I feel weird.
Yeah,
Do I recognize that I've been poisoned?
I would say yes, you do.
Can I cast Lesser Restoration on myself?
So what I will say is you can tell that this is intended to be part of this event. So you suspect that would not be in the spirit of this event.
All right, I'll keep it by the spirit.
All right. So what you will notice as one of the Haldra steps up to go first, she's in the lead here. After she's drank her concoction, she moves up to the area where these 4 crones are. One of them opens a cage, revealing various serpents. You see she looks up towards the Haldra and says, "How many?" And the Haldra puts up a single finger. And you see the crone takes out one of the snakes and drapes it on her arm. You notice the Haldra then, with the snake upon her arm, walks amongst the group. And she's kind of in this big center area surrounded by all the onlookers. You notice the snake on her arm kind of lazily just sitting there. It moves every now and again, but it doesn't seem to be very aggressive. In fact, she walks around with it without any issue. And then as she makes the full circuit and heads back to the crone, she holds her arm out, and the crone collects the snake and puts it back in the cage. You notice several people cheering and seemingly impressed with this effort. Okay, Archgale, you will be up next as you are then escorted to the crones, and she looks up and she says, "How many?"
Snakes?
She nods.
3.
You see her face opens in a bit of a smile. 3? My, this one is bold. She takes out 3 of the serpents and wraps them around both your arms and then one on your shoulders, draped there. You stand up gingerly, trying to carefully navigate these 3 serpents as you begin to make your walk in the circuit. Please give me an animal handling check here, Archgale.
Does poison give me disadvantage on that?
It does, yes. Pulling up a quick double check here. I thought it would say that right in the text. Actually, maybe it doesn't. Hang on a moment. Poison. You have disadvantage on attack. Oh, it does. I'm sorry. Attack rolls and ability checks. So, yep. So, okay. The first one, you have a 15. You asked for 3 snakes, which unfortunately means you have failed this first check. These snakes aren't particularly vicious or all that riled up. In fact, based on your skill set, Archgale, you can probably deduce that because of the cold weather, they're not overly active. They're actually kind of sluggish. But because you failed this first check, you now have to make a second check. Please make another animal handling check. Okay, you have failed this second check as well, which means, and you've failed it by 5 or more, which means all 3 of these snakes attempt to bite you. So think of this as you're kind of walking around, you're doing the best you can to try not to aggravate the snakes, but maybe it's because of the way you spin or something to do with how you raise your arm, something like that. You have pissed these snakes off and all 3 of them attack you. And because it was 5 or more, these snakes have advantage on their bite attack.
You're doing great.
All right, and I'm assuming you're probably not striding around in your armor at the moment as part of this competition. I'd be happy to listen to arguments that you were, but that's kind of my base assumption.
No.
All right, fair enough. So without armor, is your AC, I'm assuming, under 14?
Let's see. Yes.
All right.
It's 12.
12. Okay, so each of these 3 serpents does manage to find purchase, biting into your flesh. I'm going to need... first, you will take some damage. I don't think... what's your max HP here, Archgale?
51.
Okay, so they won't be able to drop you even if all 3 score max damage, so I'm not going to bother rolling the damage. But I will need you to make 3 Constitution saving throws. All right, you are going to fail on that first save, and as you do so, you fall unconscious. So, team, you'll notice as Archgale tries to make the rounds, and he kind of stumbles a bit, bobbles it, falls, and then suddenly he is out cold. You'll hear a bit of kind of chuckle kind of go around the various onlookers. You notice one of the crones approaches, collects the serpents off of Archgale's still body, puts them back into the cage, and then motions, and some of the Haldra come up and collect him and take him away from this area.
Hey! Is he going to be okay? What are you doing?
You notice one of the crones looks up towards you, and she says, "Yeah, he'll be fine in time." Okay.
Can I make an insight check on that?
Sure.
One, so I have disadvantage.
Yeah, you're not quite sure. Okay, that was Archgale. Next up is Barnaby. Barnaby, as you're ushered forward, once again, the question of how many serpents would you like is posed to you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Is it okay if I talk to my deity so I can in the spirit gods or the spirits of the forest to be able to speak to these animals?
She blinks her eyes a couple of times and says, "How many?"
Oh, well, 1 did good, 3 did bad. 2. I'm gonna do 2.
She collects 2 serpents, placing 1 on each of your arms. And then you have to make the circuit. All right, so as you try to nimbly step, as these serpents are clinging to your arms, please give me an animal handling check. Yes, you're able to do this without issue. You circle around this area. The snakes are very sluggish on your arms. They barely move at all. You make a full circle and get back to the cages where they collect these snakes and place them back in.
And I look at her and say, "You have some very nice pets. Thank you for letting me talk to them. Thank you for sharing them."
She kind of just blinks and looks at you, almost like this confused look, and then just motions with her hand for you to scurry.
And I do.
All right. And so you have managed to complete this with 2 snakes. So you notice now people talking, and you can see now, as though this wasn't necessarily explained in the beginning, who is considered the winner of this event is who can carry the most snakes and successfully make it around in the circle without being knocked unconscious. So with that knowledge in hand, Caliban, you are up next. And as you approach, you are asked, how many snakes would you like?
I am going to defer to Barnaby's incredible performance and the fact that I'm really trying to keep my ale down at the moment. I'm going to bow out of the competition.
You see she nods, and you get the impression that they're not overly concerned with you doing this. They kind of, you get this almost like conspiratorial, but not in a bad way, not in an evil way, kind of like laughs and grins and glances. You get the impression that the Huldra are quite proud of their ability to do this, and they sort of make it, they think it makes them a bit maybe better than folks that can't handle the serpents.
My animal handling is terrible, and I'm poisoned. There's going to be no chance of that succeeding. Caliban will kind of stagger back over to the railing and try to keep his ale down and his wonderful dinner that he just had. He's not feeling very well.
Fair enough. All right, you make your way away. Again, these visions still happening to you this whole time. Maybe not fully stable on your feet, as every now and again the ground seems to almost like lurch underneath you, but you manage to get back to where you're sitting. Glory decided not to participate in this one. If memory serves, we'll move on to Grim. Grim, you are asked, how many snakes?
Can I use an inspiration to have advantage on the check?
On one check, you can, yep.
Okay. Well, play to win, right? For Iron Eyes. 3.
All right, and once again, you notice the crone kind of chuckle amongst herself as she pulls out 3 of the serpents, 1 on each arm and 1 on your shoulders. You start making the walk. Animal handling, sounds like you're burning inspiration, so we'll give you advantage on this check.
Yep, inspiration's burned. Here we go.
All right, that is a 21. Yes, you managed to make your way around the entire circle without being bitten even once. All right, you have completed this circle with 3 snakes draped upon your body, getting them back to the cages without any issues. The crones seem impressed, as do some of the other Huldra. You now hear chatter in the backgrounds all around you. One of them says, "No one in recent memory has ever attempted to handle more than 4 snakes, but the rate this is going, maybe someone will have to." Next up is Laud. Laud, how many snakes would you like to handle?
Sorry,
I think.
Oh, sorry, Adam. Didn't Urshkill have to do a check per snake, didn't he?
No, it's 1 check, but the DC gets higher based on the number of serpents.
More snakes. Got it.
Well, I've had a few beers, so let's do it. We're going big. I want 4 snakes.
You see their eyes kind of open a bit in surprise as the crones drape 4 snakes around you, 1 on each arm, 1 on your shoulders, and then you notice they kind of look at where to place this last one, and they wrap it carefully around your thigh. All right, remind me, did you fail the saving throw against poison here, Laud?
I did, but I will use inspiration to kind of neutralize that.
Okay, so using inspiration to give yourself advantage, your poisons, that will cancel out. This will be a straight up check. You picked 4 serpents. Please make me an animal handling check. All right, with 4 serpents, unfortunately, that is a failure. Because you have failed, but because these are kind of sluggish, you get a second check now to see if they become aggressive and try to bite you. A second animal handling check, please. Unfortunately, they do. All 4 of them are going to try to bite you, and these are all at advantage based on your check.
All right, if one of them hits me, I'm going to try to cutting words to tell it no, but my AC should be 14. Yeah, they're all going to hit me.
You're bit
Or at least
twice, actually. Cutting word. Sure. If you want to try to cutting words, the first one, go ahead and roll a die.
Okay.
All right, so that first
that
one
would-
misses. As you see it trying to bite, you're like, oh no! And it like maybe jerks it a bit so it isn't able to quite connect. That second one does connect, however. Please give me a Constitution saving throw. You fall unconscious here, Laud, as you hit the ground and you lose all consciousness. Vision is gone. You are in a murky darkness. Much like
Oh,
you
boy.
guys have seen with other competitors here. You notice the crone goes and collects the 4. There's a bit of a chuckle as they are returned, and some of the Haldra take Laud away. Okay, finally we move on to Runok. Runok, even with your resistances, you failed that save, I recall, so you're going into this a little bit challenged. The crone asks, how many serpents would you like?
Bring on 4.
They once again seem quite impressed, as this would match the record of the most recent winner of this. And 4 are draped, 2 on each arm, or 1 on each arm, I should say, 1 on the shoulders and 1 on a thigh. All right, go ahead and throw me an animal handling check.
Snakes hate me. Oh no.
All right, you have failed that check, which means you have to now make the second check to see if they attack you. Another animal handling check, please. They do indeed. So each of them is going to attack you. This is 4 of them. All right, you are critically hit by one of them. I'm assuming the 18th are going to hit. And that 13, what's your AC without armor?
Uh, 13.
All right, so all of these are going to hit. I'm going to post the poison crit in case this is something real interesting. All right, that's not going to affect you too much, being that you're already poisoned. However, the damage, again, what's your max HP?
55.
Okay, yeah, there's no way, even with all 4 of them, they would be able to, like, drop you, so we're not going to worry about
I have
that.
resistance to poison as well, damage-wise.
All right, I need 4 Constitution saving throws from you. I know you'll be making these straight up, because you would have advantage, but you have disadvantage from the poison condition. So just 4 straight up con saves.
Right. Runok just tries to grit it out.
You succeed on the first one. Succeed on the second one. Succeed on the third one. You manage to pass all 4. So after all 4 snakes bite you, injecting their venom into you, you don't fall. You stand resolute on your feet. You notice the crones looking at you, mightily impressed. This is not considered a victory because the snakes did attack you, but you did manage to make your way in the circuit, getting back without falling unconscious. So you notice they kind of chat amongst themselves and kind of talk back and forth. And you notice one of the crones then points to you, Runok, and says, "He's the winner! He's the winner! He made it back!"
I didn't hear no bell.
All right, that is +1 grace point for Runok for the team. So overall, you guys, let's see, have won, I think, all but one of these events so far. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 grace points total. Last up, as part of this major celebration, as once again, folks get a chance to eat and drink beverages. It is getting a little bit later in the day as all of this activity has gone on, and you can see that things have calmed down a little bit, but there's a bit of time between the last event and this one. So both Archgale and Laud, eventually you awaken after over an hour, perhaps an hour and a half or so. You find yourselves lying on cots. You're still on the island. You can hear cheering all around you. Both of you wake up with very strange thoughts in the back of your head. Like, you can tell you thought something, or you dreamed something, or you saw something, but you don't remember what it is. It feels so important, but you can't call it back to your memory as much as you try. What was that? It's gone, like in the air. All right, as you guys make your way back over to the middle table, probably struggling a bit, you see some grinning from the Haldra as they welcome you back to the table. And some of them joke, talking about some thought you'd be out till the morning and so forth. But you grin and bear the chatter as you make your way back to the center table. And then you notice that the next and final event that is up is sort of an unofficial event, but it is what amounts to a boasting contest. In this boasting contest, you notice some of the Haldra get up, taking the lead, and they begin to tell these very elaborate stories. The first one, a woman who goes by the name Braga Ninefingers, or at least that's who her great-great-grandmother is. She tells this story of how her great-great-grandmother faced and defeated a dozen dwarven readers while she was naked after the reavers surprised her while she was bathing in a river. She was armed with nothing but a rock and her own braided hair that she wielded like a whip. You notice another one of the Haldra then gets up and begins to tell a story. You notice that everyone around you is being quite respectful of these stories. Occasionally you hear someone kind of like question it, maybe under their breath, or roll an eye a little bit, but you get sort of the impression that it's not considered polite to call into question someone's story, and there's definitely a bit of exaggeration in these tales, though not so much that they're out and out lies, just maybe just a little bit exaggerated. The next Haldra that comes up mentions an individual by the name of Hagen the Red, a sellsword who once wrestled a griffin into submission and then tamed it. Later, he flew the griffin mount to a mountaintop to steal a rock egg, which he cooked for a king to win himself a barony. As the second story goes through and there's cheers that go up at the conclusion of the story, you notice everybody looking around, and you can tell many of these Haldra are looking towards your group to see if perhaps you have a great story from outside of this area to bring to the table. If you would like to take part in the boasting contest, please put yes in the chat. All right, I'm seeing 4, so we will start with Archgale first. All right, Archgale, so essentially your choice here, I'm going to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit on this one. You can either tell a legitimate story, like through roleplay. If you do so, you're going to get advantage on this check. And it might, and depending on your story, I have permission in the module to basically just say you win if it's a really good story, but most likely it'll go to a check, which you'll have advantage on if you role play the story. If you don't want to role play the story, kind of just summarize what the story is roughly about, and then you'll make a performance check, and essentially whoever has the highest will win.
Okay. Archgale will kind of rub his temples a little bit in a half pain and half poison state. But he'll stand up firm and raise his glass, and he will talk. He will, more, I should say, he will flex point to his knighthood, that being the patch that he has like pinned on him right now. And he will say, I'm going to tell you a story about how I became a knight. It first started when we fought a pack of ghouls. We needed information on where to find this Archduke. Once we gathered that information, we traversed and we traversed, and we went over these long, rolling hills. We met him, and we got to travel the Fey Road. And he'll look around to gauge the interest of the group.
They seem pretty hanging on your words. I wouldn't say that they're like overly enthused yet. Maybe as you're watching them, you realize a lot of what you're talking about doesn't really relate to them, as this is like far away and maybe things they don't have to deal with as much. So they're listening, but not like enraptured.
The Fey Road, dark, no light. Even if you light a torch, there's almost nothing you can see. It's a thick mist that hangs in the air. Of course, we didn't... we didn't encounter a whole lot. There was one beast that looked ethereal like a dragon, and it growled for hunger and coin. But truly, after this, we arrived at the Battle of Stonefield. That's what I call it, anyways, because everyone there gets turned to stone. And the Archduke almost had met his fate there. But it was I and my heroics, not through weapons, not through words, but through healing, that I saved his life. And that is where I won his glory and became knighted.
As your story comes to a close, you see a lot of them start slamming their flagons of mead on the table, and he's shouting, "Here, here," and holding their flagons up towards you. Go ahead and give me a performance check at advantage here, Archgill.
You said performance, right?
Yes, performance. All right, you have scored a 19. So yes, you can see that the folks gathered around here are very much interested in your tale. They're excited about it. And you could hear, as you complete your boasting tale and then sit back down, a couple of people speaking to one another saying, "Oh, a knight." All right, next up we have Barnaby.
Barnaby will come up into the middle of the stage, or whatever is being used as a stage, and he'll look around to the crowd and he'll say, "As many of you know, or think you know, the gnomes of the forest are tricksters, better with words than with weapons. Over 200 years ago, a demon mistook that reputation of weakness and approached my great-great-grandfather with a bargain. It offered protection in exchange for souls, all neatly wrapped in a contract it was very proud of. My grandfather, thinking from what I hear he was a wise man, let the demon write down every word, then asked it one careful question about what willing truly meant. When the demon sighed, my grandfather pressed a small iron ring into the parchment, one etched with old forest rune, and swore an oath. In the terms of its own contract, the demon's essence flowed into the ring, binding it by its name and its signature. The demon was banished, the ring was sealed, and my family learned the smallest circle of greatest evil can be held by an old man of wisdom."
You notice the Huldra kind of whispering amongst themselves. Performance check at advantage here, Barnaby.
Yeah, let me find that performance button, you know?
You roll that all the time. I mean, all right, 18. Yes, you can see many of them are very much taken with your tale. In fact, one of them, as you're wrapping up, even calls out, "What was the ring's name?" And then you see some of them, shh. All right, with your tale complete, you are able to return to your seat. And then another of the Huldra stands, and she looks about to tell her tale. I'm going to roll the checks for the other two Huldra so far. All right, you notice that maybe because it's home crowd, that the Huldra really liked the two original stories, both the Braga Nine Fingers tale and the Hagen the Red tale. The third Huldra that steps up, she gives a tale of Silly the Cleaver, who once outsmarted a coven of hags in a riddle contest to win from them a magic staff. He then used the staff to steal the magic out of a necromancer's head and returned his dead twin, Healy, to life. The crowd doesn't seem to take too much to that tale. Not particularly interesting. They're kind of like looking a bit bored and glad when the next speaker gets up, who in this case is Laud. Laud starts off with an open silence, trying to build the apprehension and, the excitement of the crowd.
Oh, sorry. Is it not going through? Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, so I'll start by telling the tale of the time I took on a dragon with nothing but my loot and a turkey leg. So I approached this dragon that was approaching the city. I was the only one to stand up to it. I approached with my loot and I started playing a tune, deliberately out of tune, clang, clang, clang. The dragon did not like this, and so it roared. It took a deep breath, and as it did, I threw the leg. Direct hit right into the snout. It starts coughing and sputtering and trying to flee. I continue my tune of just pure chaos and absolute angst. And the dragon, thinking, this isn't worth my time, decided to fly off. Saved the city all by myself with nothing but the loot and a turkey leg. And I'll take a bite out of the turkey leg that I've got in my hand.
All right, go ahead and make a performance check at advantage. All right, 23. Yes, 23.
Yeah, it would be higher anyway. That was the wrong one, but it's the same.
Okay, with a 23 so far, this tale has really captured the attention of the gathered folks around here. You can see a lot of cheering, clapping. There's just a really big uplift of this excitement from your tale. You can tell that you're currently leading in this boasting contest. Next up is another one of the Huldra, the last of the Huldra, in fact. And you see she steps up and takes her time laying out this story. She goes on to speak of Sorsha, the wind singer, who could hear the music of the Fae on the breeze and the songs the flowers sang to the sun. After 100 heroes had challenged a dragon in might, skill, and wit, and all had been killed and eaten, she sang a song that made the dragon weep tears that turned to diamonds. The dragon was so overwhelmed by the beauty of her song that it wept itself into an endless slumber. She then walked away with the diamonds as the dragon slept. It is said the first tear that anointed her head made her live 400 years, just long enough to spend the last of the wealth she earned from the dragon's tears. And that tale is pretty well received, but not quite as well as any of your tales so far. Last up is Runok.
Okay, so Runak strides to the center, and it's like, I'll tell you the tale of the village of Halfstead. It was beset by ghouls. They descended upon it, and we had to outwit them. We led them to a very special trough, where they all descended because of their brainless beasts. And we eventually led them to a large pit, where we lit them all on fire, and the village of Halfstead was saved by our wits.
All right, you notice the gathered folks here listening attentively. Go ahead and make that performance check at advantage. See how well it lands.
Oof.
Perhaps it's because your tale includes ghouls, and this is just something that the Huldra are not really enjoying. They don't even like to hear them talked about in tales. The Huldra don't seem really interested in your tale. After a while, you notice the queen holds up a flag, and then she says, "Who won?" And you see she points at basically each of you and listens to the roar of the crowd. And when she points at Laud, the roar is the loudest. All right, Laud has won the boasting contest for the group as well. All right, guys, that is the end of our competition, our events here. So things start to wind down. From a quick mechanical challenge here, the maximum grace points that really matter are 5. You guys actually got 6, which is better than the max. Obviously 5 is the most you can have, but essentially you did absolutely the best you could do. So you can see that there's a little bit of room here, and figuring that there's 7 events, basically if you win at least 5 of them, that's the best you could do. You guys won 6, so even better than that. So yeah, congratulations on your events here in the celebration honoring Rangrid Iron Eyes. As that concludes the events, you see the queen invites everybody to enjoy themselves and eat and drink merrily for the rest of the day and enjoy themselves, essentially. So basically, you have the rest of the day to yourselves. So you see folks sitting here eating, drinking, sharing tales of merriment, wonder, combat, prowess, strength, anything you can think of, sort of in this warrior culture. You guys will have the rest of this day, and then in the morning, you will be summoned by the queen. Is there anything during this day, as you're gathered around this table, eating, drinking, anything you would like to discuss with one another or with the Haldra themselves?
I'll just be discussing tactics and say stuff like, so do you guys use flanking when you fight? Because the way it works is, somebody's got to have been melee range with a melee weapon, and if I'm directly across, we get a flank, and I get a little bit more try for the flanking. You guys should try that.
You notice one of the Haldra that you're kind of speaking in the vicinity of, she holds up her flag and it's just, yes, I know, but don't you hate it when you have those companions that always forget to get in the right position? They're just a little bit different spot.
Sometimes I say it out loud and I'm embarrassed for like 2 minutes, but after that, they should know better.
She claps you on the shoulder as she takes another big drink of her mead.
I would like to go around and ask about why, or try to gauge the history of this land. Be like, oh, so this is like a warrior clan of some kind. Like, why is it like that? What battles have there been? What war has there been? Just to gauge the history of the people and the place.
Sure, yeah. Give me a persuasion check to see what your efforts reveal.
I'll burn my inspiration on that.
Okay.
All right, very well spent.
Maybe because these folks are so enraptured with the current events and their blood's up a bit and all these competitions and might and that kind of stuff's on the brain. They're not really interested in talking about history, the past. As you try to ask these things, you see a couple of them be like, oh, okay, come on, nerd. We just had this big competition. Let's talk about lifting rocks and, that kind of stuff. So none of them seem a little too interested in going into the nitty gritty of the past. Anything else?
Caliban will ask.
Yeah,
Caliban will see if he can ask one of them, where are all the men?
Throw me a persuasion check.
Caliban strikes out with a girl, and now he's like, where are the men?
Oh, no, he's not very persuasive.
You notice the Haldra that you're speaking to turns and gives you this toothy grin, and she says, we keep them in barrels and only pop them out when we need them. I think I got a barrel around here that's your size. Why don't you come with me?
Lod, yeah, I'll be right over there, Lod. Sorry, my friend's calling you. I gotta go. He makes himself scarce.
You hear her and some of her fellow warriors start laughing and slapping themselves on the thighs.
I'll ask around about what their interaction with like ghouls and vampires has been recently. Tell them about what we've kind of seen down to the south and wondering if it's as bad up here.
Sure, persuasion check. You find one of the Haldra who's not too taken with her mead at this point, still sort of clear-minded. As you ask her this question, she will say, oh, well, up here the sun shines quite brightly, and there are many areas where it's not easy for vampires to hide. As such, we don't find many. Of course, rare things do happen every now and again, but Haldramost is protected by Sif herself, so they never dare get close to our fine city.
Good to know. Place of refuge is always nice.
It is a place of refuge for those with true warrior hearts. If your team has that, you will be safe here.
Oh, we do. Can't you tell by all the competitions we won?
You see her looking towards Grim as she nods and says, yes, that one especially. I think Sif might have been in his arm and his leg to take him to that victory against the little guy in the melee trials.
Yeah, he's a pretty good fighter.
You see she nods. Yes, indeed. All right, folks. Anybody else want to interact, ask any questions, anything like that before we fast forward to the morning? Okay, hearing nothing then, you guys manage to eat and drink your fill and then some, having a very good meal here. You are then eventually able to make your way back to the barracks that were set aside for you guys. You get a very well-deserved rest and relaxation period there. Qualify as a long rest for everybody. You can feel free to apply that. As you guys sleep through into the morning, waking up, finding yourself refreshed, you will see in your barracks here, there's been some barrels of water brought inside very quietly. There are various mugs or horns that are used here for drinking that are set for you. And then a little bit of like dried cheese, some hard breads, that sort of stuff for like a breakfast meal. As you guys are sort of waking up, stretching out, just getting your minds ready to go for the day. One of the Haldra mentions that the queen has summoned you to her longhouse, and she would like you to attend to her at your convenience this morning.
You guys ready?
Of course.
Let's do this.
All right. Yes, I'm gonna put on my armor.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, just take the time to get armored up this morning.
All right, you get armored up, make your way to the longhouse where the queen is waiting for you. After some brief sort of hellos, greetings, that sort of thing, as you're there in her longhouse with her and several of the Huldra warriors, you can see them kind of all gathered about. Eventually, she breaks into a little bit of a speech, as it were. She says, "My shield maidens, we are grateful for the arrival of you people. You have returned the arms of our fallen sister and join us in honoring her memory. You have also sought us out for aid, and we can bring ourselves honor by giving you what you seek. You have proven yourselves friends. Now let us see if you are allies worthy of the honor of fighting alongside the Huldra." "My good guess," she says as she looks at you directly now, "you have asked me for my aid, and I have tasked my diviners with fulfilling it. Now I ask you for yours. My scouts have located enemies nearby. Ragnarok cultists, crazed creatures without honor that look to bring the end times upon us, have set their eyes on Haldramus. They seek to do great mischief here. We will take the battle to them first, so that our people and their livelihoods remain untouched. Will you go into battle with us? It will put me in your debt, and I shall repay that debt immediately upon your return. I will see that you have the resources and the warriors for your journey and your raid upon the Midnight Temple."
I would like to say it would be an honor to earn your alliance, and we will do it.
We fight evil wherever, whichever land it's in. So I'm good for it. Yep, let's go.
How far away is this though? We do have to be at the Midnight Fortress or the Midnight Temple in time.
You see she motions with her hand, and you see one of the Huldra brings over a map to her, and she looks and she says, "It is about a 35-mile journey to the southeast. It should not take you more than a few days to resolve. There, take care of the action and come back."
I think we can do that.
According to my journal here, we have 15 days left before the new moon.
Well, as
she
long as the
nods.
Midnight Temple isn't too far away, then we should have time. Perhaps we can use magic to teleport if we must.
If we can be of service, we should do it.
Excellent. Then please return to the barracks. I'll have all arrangements taken care of, and I will have Halfreed come collect you when she is ready.
Start taking our leave, I guess.
Okay, you guys make your way back to the barracks. Anything that you're doing there while you're waiting for a half-breed?
Just Caliban's just gonna do typical gear check and obsessively pack and repack things, but I'm not sure if we have any strategy or things we should think through.
Chicale's just gonna pray before we leave. He's just gonna do a quick prayer to Rava and then just quickly rattle off the names of the fallen: Shai, Gash, Braddock, Vigo, Zach.
Hey, Lord.
It's
Can you-
Lord.
Lord, can you play us a pre-battle song that gives us inspiring tunes and extra, what sometimes I call it temporary, health?
Yeah, I mean, I already did that, but I'll do it again.
Do it again.
Okay. I'll play the same thing I played this morning when we woke
I
up.
forgot. What do we get? 10 HP and that's it?
Yeah, it's 10 temp HP, and then I handed out inspiration to, I think it was, what was it, you, Runak, and Caliban? Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
I missed
you.
that. Thank you.
I thought you gave it to me too.
The temp HP, yeah, but the inspiration was just, Grim, Runak, and Caliban. That's what I typed earlier.
Okay.
I'm kind of just randomly picking on the inspiration, but for the temp HP, it's always everybody but Caliban.
Alrighty, folks. So one quick mechanical note I want to make to you guys. I'm going to share this handout. As I mentioned during these events, you guys were collecting grace points. So grace points can do a few things. Think of these not as a pool of points that are exhausted. They're a constantly refreshing pool of points. So once you leave this area, while you have the Huldra with you, so the Huldra are going to be represented by their leader Halfreed, and you can think of having some Huldra with you. But the way the module handles this is rather than them being tokens on the map that engage in battle with you, their efforts are represented by your expenditure of grace points. So because you guys got the max, the 5, at initiative count 20, losing ties, you'll be able to spend grace points to do things. So one example of this, or I'll just read these off, and I'm going to share this handout with you guys. The first one is dealing damage. This represents the Huldra hurling javelins at a point you can see. Enemies in that area will make a saving throw and then take some damage. You can also increase the amount of grace points you spend to do more damage. The second option is called Harry. This is what makes creatures have disadvantage on their first attack roll on that turn. You can do what's called Rescue, which allows the Huldra to sort of leap into action, grab someone who's been dropped to 0 HP, pull them up to 30 feet away, and grant them 1 HP. You can also spend more grace points to increase the amount of HP they're restored. And then the last option is what is known as Support. They do a battle cry, and they embolden characters, giving advantage on the first attack roll that turn. The last two options, Rescue and Support, are built on a recharge system, which means if you use them, they don't necessarily recharge immediately. You have to roll to see if it recharges. So you can kind of think of these as similar to lair actions that enemies have. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys this handout. Feel free to read through this, but again, high level is you're going to be using these every round that you're in combat, and they're going to be kind of used at the beginning unless, opponents roll higher than 20 or you guys roll higher than 20. So you're going to be expending these points to do these various effects, and then we go through the round of combat. We then pick up at the next round of combat. You'll be able to use these again. Because these are not tied to a specific person, this is kind of a group decision. So I want to try to find a good way of, juggling these abilities. So what I would suggest is either at the beginning of each round, we can have the team confer, or if some people say like, oh, this little subsystem doesn't interest me, you can nominate 1 or 2 people to be sort of the voices that decide how these are spent. Really, it's up to you guys. But yeah, I want to come up with something that doesn't really slow down gameplay super long. So let's, do you guys have any ideas or suggestions on how to manage these?
I say we nominate Laud. because he's the inspiring leader.
That's a good idea. I second it.
Sure, that's fine. So these reset, so we get 5 back every, basically the start of every turn is the way that I'm understanding.
Yes. So each initiative count 20, you get restored to 5. You have a max of 5. So if you spend all 5, which obviously you should because you get them back every round, you'll be at 0. You get back to initiative count 20. You'll get to spend them again.
Okay, and then mechanically, it looks like it's just they're free actions essentially, right? So you
Correct.
can choose to use them whenever anybody on our turn or their turn potentially is working.
Well, you have to use them specifically on initiative count 20. So when we roll initiative, let's say nobody beats 20 and we start at 20, we'd say, okay, how would you like to spend your grace points? You say, I want to do damage 3 times, or yeah, you could do that. Let's see. I think, yeah, some of them say you can't do them. Let's see, but each option can be chosen only once each turn. So sorry, you could say I want to spend 3 points on damage, right? And that would make the damage it deals go higher. And you could say I want to spend 1 on Harry and 1 on rescue, for example, right? And then we resolve those actions through the grace points expenditure. Then we move on with regular initiative. If for some reason somebody has a higher than 20, then they would go before you can spend your grace points each round. Does that make sense?
Yes. Okay, got it.
All right.
And then we have to just re-roll the 5 or 6 on support and rescue if we used them the previous turn.
Correct. Yep. If you use them, then on initiative count 20, you're going to roll a d6. If you get a 5 or 6, that ability recharges. If not, you can't use it again until it does recharge.
Okay, that works.
All right. So one thing I'll point out is you have these points as long as the Huldra are with you. So again, think of this as like a small contingent of Huldra forces, and they're kind of embedded with your group, and this is how their efforts are represented. If for some reason the Huldra are not with you, you can't spend grace points. All right, hopefully that's clear. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. And yeah, guys, we're halfway through our session here, so I wanted to make sure those mechanics of the grace points was clear. Let's go ahead and pause, take our 15-minute break, and we'll pick up on the other side.
Sounds good. See all of you.
We are back on the other side, folks. All right, you guys are in Huldramose. I'm going to go ahead and move you guys to that map. All right, so after speaking with Queen Thorgerd and agreeing to assist the Huldra on their mission to defeat these cultists of Ragnarok, you were asked to head back to the barracks, and then Halfreed would come and collect you. And then you would be on your way to this location. So with that in mind, it's only about another hour or so before Halfreed does indeed come to collect you. You see it is her and 4 other Huldra warriors that are going with you, and that is represented by your 5 grace points, so 1 Huldra warrior per grace point. So Halfreed and the 4 Huldra attend with you. They are able to make arrangements to get another skiff, and they are able to pilot this themselves. And you guys board that up and travel essentially southeast away from Huldramose. Taking us to the overland map really quick. The location that you're heading to is described to you as being on a hill. So you're moving through this location and kind of hitting the river, following the river for the most part. So you can think of yourself as kind of doing something like this, making your way down in this direction. Based on the distance that you're having to travel, this is going to be a little over a day's journey. So you travel for a full day with these Huldra warriors and yourselves on probably 2 skiffs. Because of the size of the skiff, you wouldn't be able to fit everybody on one. So you guys make your way probably to about this point before you have to disembark from the skiff, find a section of dry land that you can actually use. Interestingly, you will notice that the Huldra actually use the sort of, I'm trying to think what is the word, they're hanging beds essentially, where they tie 2 pieces of rope to a cot and then connect that between 2 trees. Thank you, hammock. That's what I was looking for. So think of it as hammocks and trees in this area. You're, of course, welcome to do the same if you have the supplies. Otherwise, if you sleep on the ground, it is a very wet area. So there are times where if you sleep on the ground, you seemingly can't seem to get fully dry. With that out of the way, and yep, sure, that would certainly work. But yeah, you guys sleep through the night, would wake up in the morning. That, again, would qualify as a long rest. I don't think anybody needs any recovery from that. Wake up, redo your standard sort of preparations, and then continue traveling. And as you do so, it's probably only spending maybe another 2 hours journeying before you find yourself getting close to this hill. So this hill is at a distance, and even from a distance of, say, 300 yards or so, you can make out these large ancient stones that seem to be on top of the hill. You notice the Haldra began speaking with one another, Halfreed obviously leading these discussions. Eventually, after they're done speaking with one another, she will turn to you and she will say, "All right, here is what I suggest. Let us split into 2 groups. I will take my Haldra warriors to the north side of the hill, and then we will charge the camp from the north. You guys head to the south and try to approach quietly, and then take the enemy by surprise by blocking their escape should they try to flee." Does that work for your team?
That sounds like an excellent plan.
Do we know probably how many there are?
You'll notice she turns back and speaks in this language you guys don't know to one of the other Haldra warriors, and after a little bit of back and forth, she will turn to you and she say, "The scouts saw at least a dozen Frogshar and a Dwarven Reaver. The scouts also overheard the cultists speaking of an old woman. I don't know who that is, but you're looking at least 14, 15 individuals on the hill."
We can take that.
And you may know those better than we do. I know you said you didn't know the old lady, but of those, is there one in particular we should concentrate on?
It depends. If the old woman is a witch, or at worst a hag, I would try to take her down quickly.
Sounds good. The old lady it is. That doesn't sound good, but yeah.
Yeah, we'll take her out first.
Yeah, beat up the old lady.
Witches are... Yeah, okay.
All right, then I shall take my warriors to the north and charge. Once you hear the sound of my charging, you should enter the battle as well. Are we ready? And you see she takes her spear and kind of taps it to the ground. Says, "Let's go."
Aye.
Good luck.
And to you. All right, it is morning, so it is daylight mode. I'm going to make sure we've got light on our map. I'm going to move you guys over to this other map. So this is the location that you are going to be charging in once you hear essentially the sounds of battle from the other side. This is only a small section of the map, obviously, that I'm giving you to maneuver around. Feel free to adjust yourselves where you think it makes the most sense. For a quick bit of what you're spotting, you're kind of charging up this way, or, you know, quietly is what the plan was. You're noticing like tree brush growth right here, very close to where you're standing. More tree growth here. There's a collection of rocks here, a collection of rocks here. But you don't quite see much until you truly, you know, enter this area, aka once I remove the line blockers. All right, so I'm just watching, making sure I'm not seeing any more movement. So it looks like everybody's where they want to be. So I'm going to go ahead and lock our tokens.
Adam, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do we have, would it be appropriate if we're in a safe enough spot that we can prep with the spell or anything?
Well, again, the idea here is that you're approaching this camp quietly. So if you were casting a spell a ways back, that might work. But again, based on the duration and that you're moving slowly and quietly, I would say any spell that has a duration than less than, like, say, 5 minutes wouldn't really be applicable here.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
All right, so it looks like everybody was good with where they were at. So sure enough, you hear the sound of the charging from the north. You hear a bunch of sort of frenetic sounds around you. As you're approaching, you're hearing the sounds of chopping, as though there were people chopping trees, perhaps. And as the sound of this combat rings out, I'm going to go ahead and remove the line blocker. All right, this is what you are to make out quite quickly. As you do so, you see some movement in the brush around you. Again, just a quick reminder, you're not going to see the Huldra represented on the map, though they are charging from the north. With that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and turn on initiative. Let me make sure it's clear. All right, please go ahead and roll your... Oh, actually, it is not clear. Just a moment. All right, now it is clear. Please go ahead and roll your initiatives. All right, while I'm rolling the rest of the initiatives, feel free, if you have alert, to offer to switch with somebody.
Grim, do you want to switch?
Yeah, sounds great. I'll take a 22.
That's a lot of rolling there, Adam.
I know, and sadly, I don't think I'm halfway through yet.
Yeah. You said 12 or 14 individuals.
So it's more than
Those
just the two that I can see.
Those scouts are definitely losing their bonuses.
All right, I think I've got everybody, but with the number of opponents in this, it's a little bit challenging. So if for some reason I miss somebody, they'll enter in round 2. Okay, with that said, you guys have already updated your initiatives appropriately, yes, for the alert?
Yes, it just looks like they can be resorted.
Perfect. Okay, so with that in mind, let me go ahead and change our music. Okay, Glory, you have 1 initiative. I'm going to unlock the tokens. You are free to act.
Okay, bonus action, rage. I see a creature right here, like just the corner of it. Can
Yes.
I attack that?
You can. It's in the brush. They'll get a bit of cover, but sure, you can. All right, your halberd slashes over your allies' heads and does indeed connect with this creature, and you hear a little bit of a grunt as your blade cuts in. In fact, that is going to kill it. So yeah, you hear a slump then.
All right, that was 5. Move here and attack this creature.
Okay. Yes, your halberd slashes through this crone-looking like woman. And will wound her.
Move back in my turn.
All right, from up the other direction, we see some movement. Okay, Grim is next.
Okay, I'm gonna move 5, 10. $15 to there, and I'm going to swing out with my Morning Star at that crone woman.
Okay. You swing out with your Morning Star, hitting into her body, but it doesn't penetrate enough to actually damage her.
Wow. Second.
The second attack does, though. You manage to score a hit. That will wound
And
her.
strength saving throws. I try to shield bash her down.
17.
That'll pass.
All right, she is pretty sturdy on her feet. All right, next up is another opponent. It's going to rush down through this area. Another opponent. Gonna rush up. As it does, you notice a furry little creature. It looks almost like something out of a weird dream. It is just this small creature with a lot of fur. As it is rushing towards you here, Caliban, you notice these jagged teeth in its mouth, and it's holding on to a little dagger. All right, next up we have Barnaby.
All right. Believing that there may be magic involved here, I'm going to go ahead and cast Bless level 2, and it will be myself, Grim, Caliban, and Runak for my 4.
Thank you.
And I'll go ahead and do that, but I'll end my turn there.
Okay, next up is Archgale.
I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
Let me make sure. So 5, 10. I don't have my aura, but I assume that hits. Yep. That one creature there immediately.
All right, so you need a wisdom save. I believe that is going to pass.
That will pass, so half damage, and that will be radiant.
All right, so the spirits float around and strike and wound that creature.
All right, and I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
All right, so I'm going to give you 4 more saves. Those 2 will fail. I'll just take that same damage. First one's wounded. The second one will be killed. And then here's 2 more saves. Those will both fail, taking the damage.
Okay. I'm just going to keep the 15 for that one.
Yep, yeah, I've applied that for the round. That'll just be faster to do it once per round.
Cool. Sounds good. I think I'm happy there, so I'll end my turn.
Okay, next up. Oh, actually, we passed 20, so now it's Grace Point action.
Okay. Just point of clarity. So the support, it's advantage, but it says this turn, so does it mean anybody that went before 20 won't get affected by this?
Let me just double check how it's written. I think it means until the next initiative point. So I'll say up until the next 20 count next round.
Okay, then I'll give support for 2 points, so that'll give everybody advantage. And then we'll do, I can't see anything, so I'll do 2 points of Harry to hit all 3 of these creatures, and then I guess the 4th one can go, let's say, on this guy back here. And then that leaves one more.
Hang on, let's resolve real quick. So the first you did was support, so everybody has players. You have advantage on your first attack roll, so keep that in mind. That's up to you guys to manage that. Then you said you were doing Harry on the top 2. Is that what I heard?
So it says you can do 2 additional creatures per grace point. So I was going to do 2 points of Harry, which would be all three of these crone looking things, and then I can see this guy in the back. So we'll say this guy. So that'd be 4 creatures.
Go ahead and ping when you say this guy in the back. That one over there. Okay, got it. All right, so here comes some charisma saves. All right, so one of the crones is affected. I'm going to mark her with the pink dot. And then you said the guy in the back as well. Yep, he'll be affected as well. All right, so since we've harried those folks will have disadvantage on their first attack roll this turn. Okay, that's 4 grace points.
Yep, and then the last one I'll do damage on this guy. Also, just for point of clarity, it says within 5 feet. So is that, kind of like the sleep where you can put it on a corner? If there's 4 all on squares next to each other, you can hit 4, but otherwise it's just 1.
I would say it's going to target the within 5 feet. I would say it's going to target the center of a square. So it's basically like Was that 3, 6, 7, 8 squares worth of area?
Could do that, then I would throw it here to try to hit all 3 of these guys. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yep. Sure. Yep. All right. So here comes dex saving throws. All right. All 3 of those will pass. Half damage. So go ahead and roll 2d6. They'll take half of that as the Haldra fire off some arrows ringing down in that area. All right. So they will each take 4 points of damage. All right, and then we move to the next opponent, who's going to rush that way. All right, this one's turn. She's going to move to here, and then you're going to see that she kind of spins a bit, unleashing an icy embrace. This is going to hit Grim, Archgale, Glory, Runak.
Is that a spell?
It is not.
Okay.
So I will need those of you just named, Grim, Archgale, Glory, Runak. I need you guys each to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Inspiration that?
All right, so 2 successes so far. Runak, you have failed.
I'm gonna inspiration as well.
Okay. All right, so everybody succeeds. You will take half damage, and you're not restrained. I'm going to go ahead and post that now. Okay, so it's going to be 12 points of cold damage dealt to each of you. And let's see. Archgale, you'll have to make... Okay, so you've succeeded on that save.
Does the
Okay.
creature end its turn there?
It does.
It will take additional Spirit Guardians.
All right, it will fail that. Okay, it is wounded by the Spirit Guardians, and we move to Runak. And just quick reminder, Runak, looks like you had temp HP, so you want to remember to remove that first.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay. So I am going to hex this first one right here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to I'm going to swing out with advantage on the first attack. Greatsword.
That will
Oof.
miss.
I don't know if it
And
matters, but remember you have bless too. It doesn't look
Okay.
like you clicked it.
Yeah, would that matter?
No, it won't.
Where do I click it? I don't even see a place to click it.
I think it's a
Yeah.
tab under combat.
In combat, yeah.
If you set it up.
Yeah, I don't know if I have it set up. But I'll remember on this one because I'm attacking.
Yeah, and don't forget they still take some damage.
Oh yeah.
All right, how much graze is that?
4.
Okay, the 19 will hit. All right.
I'm going to do a hex damage too.
The great sword carves into her, wounding her. And then we'll add some hex damage. Okay,
All right.
yes, she is wounded.
And that is the end of my turn.
Okay, Caliban.
All right. Well, I think he has to deal with this nightmare Furby in front of him first. So let's try to attack that first. That's advantage on the first one.
With advantage, that will hit. All right, your blade slashes at the creature's arm, drawing a bit of blood.
It's tougher than expected. Let's try that again. I only get advantage on the first roll, right?
Correct.
Yep.
The second one
Don't
will
need
hit
it.
as well.
See if I can roll some damage better.
8 points of damage is going to slay the Frogashar.
Alright, he will... He's got some cover here. Yeah, he's gonna just stab down into that, and he's gonna stay here for a moment. A little outside of combat, but a little strategic, I think. I'll end my turn.
All right, next up, we hear some movement from inside the bushes. More movement. Alrighty, on this one's turn. She's going to scoot back to here, and she's going to cast a spell. Alright, and that spell is going to be targeted right on Archgale. So as that falls down in that area, I'm going to need Archgale, Grim, Runok, and Glory to all give me dexterity saving throws. Okay, Grim will succeed, and Glory will succeed. However, Archgale, you are going to fail this. So what you're going to notice as this huge sleet storm smashes down in this area, striking this entire area, you will have the prone condition and immediately lose concentration. All right, that is her turn. We move to the next opponent. This one is actually slain, so we're going to go ahead and move them off map. Alrighty, then we have another creature. Gonna rush in from the north. Alright, this one is also slain, taking them off map. We got some movement coming through the bushes. Some more movement. All right, moving through the bushes once again. So Glory, you don't see anything, but then suddenly a creature is going to pop out from your side. They are already within your reach by the time you can see them, so Reactive Strike will not provoke. It is then going to attack you twice. It bites out with its teeth, but does not manage to find purchase, and then stabs with its dagger. Missing as well.
Are these bipedal?
Yes. Okay, Laud, your turn.
All right, move there, and there. See what I can see. Okay. Eat a token. Probably maybe one down. I can get. Would that still hit this one or no? If not, I'll move it up.
It would not.
Okay, so there then. I think that should hit basically everything in there. I'm going to cast Fireball.
All right, as you cast Fireball, you're going to notice the one closest to you is going to attempt to counterspell you. Actually, I think, let me make sure how this is worded real quick. Yes, I'm actually going to say that 2 of them are going to attempt to counterspell you here. So please give me a Constitution saving throw.
All right, twice.
Yeah, obviously if you fail the first one, it doesn't really matter. All right.
Okay, and then I don't know if I can do anything about that on my side. One sec.
I don't believe so. You checked before one of your bard abilities if it affects saving throws.
Yeah,
and
I think when I fail, it's fine. It's just like when other people. Okay. Yep. Yep. So,
All right, so
yeah, I'll fail that.
you attempt to cast Fireball, and she snaps her fingers, interrupting your magic, canceling your Fireball, and causing that to dissipate. I believe now with the new Fireball, that slot
It
isn't
just,
expended.
Yeah, it just burns the action. So I still have like my bonus actions and all that. So I will. I mean, that's gonna end my turn. So actually, I'll move back there to get a little more cover, and then I'll end my turn.
Okay. All right, we've got some more movement. The more movement as more and more of these little fur balls are coming out of the coverage. Alrighty, this one's turn. Okay, she is going to unleash her Icy Embrace, so I will need Grim, Archgale, and Runok to all give me Constitution saving throws.
I'm going to use a luck point to give advantage.
Okay. Okay, so Archgale and Grim will fail. Runok will succeed.
Then I'm going to use inspiration.
Okay. All right, you will manage to succeed. Archgale, however, will fail. All right, so if you failed, you're going to take the full damage, which is 19, and you are restrained by ice for 1 minute. So think of this as ice comes over to you, freezing you in place. On a success, you're going to take half damage, and you're not restrained. All right, she is then going to move. All right, some movement in the brush. Barnaby, you're going to notice as one of these creatures kind of ducks around you and then pops into space. Grim, that one would come into reach if you want to reactive strike him.
You mean me?
Or I'm sorry, I said Grim. I meant Glory. Yes, if you wanted to reactive strike him, he came around the backside. He would be within your reach when he entered. See, 13 is going to actually swipe over his head and miss. He is then going to attack you, Barnaby, with both a bite and a dagger. The dagger will manage to connect. And that's going to deal 4 points of piercing damage to you there, Barnaby.
I'm gonna cutting words on the damage there.
Okay, feel free to roll that.
Which I mean I'll roll the die, right? So.
All right, damage has been negated.
Thank you, sir.
Caliban, you'll notice one pounces out of this brush here and attacks you. Missing you a couple of times. Double checking speed. He is actually going to step up to there. Okay, top of round 2. We move to Glory's turn.
I'm going to use Celestial Revelation, Necrotic Shroud.
All right, within 10 feet of you, so I'm counting 3. All right, here comes some saves. Okay, all 3 of the Frogashar are frightened of you.
Move here and attack this one.
Hang on one sec. As you step away, I think they still get to make an attack against you. Yeah, so this attack will be at disadvantage because the person's frightened, but they are going to make that attack. That is going to miss. All right, and you're attacking the hag. Okay, sure, make your attack.
Oh, okay. Only the one gets it. Okay.
Don't forget your first attack is with advantage.
That first attack is going to miss.
Second attack.
It's going to miss. Anything else on your turn, Glory?
I'm going to move there, and I'm going to end my turn.
All right. Okay, Grim, back to your turn.
All right, I'm gonna attack the hag with advantage.
That is going to miss.
Okay, and then I'm going to attack again.
That is also going to miss.
A lot of
Wow.
17s, folks. Yep.
Okay, and then I'm going to end my turn.
All right, we've got some more movement. Okay, Barnaby's turn.
All right. I'm going to attack the one north of me.
Okay.
And this will be, first one will be with advantage. Sorry, my screen kind of froze up a second.
27 will hit. All right, your rapier pierces through the creature, slaying it in one strike.
All right, where I'm going to go ahead and swing at the other one, seeing that that was pretty cool.
That will hit as well. And yes, that one is also slain.
Nice job, Barnaby.
Thank you. Yeah, I tell you, they're kind of cute.
All right, Archgale is up next.
All right, I'll spend half my movement to stand up.
Okay.
And then I guess I'll cast Spirit Guardians once again.
Okay. All right, the Spirit Guardians will spring into existence once again. I'm seeing 4 saves. The 2 Frogashar will fail. The Dwarf will fail. And the Hag will fail. Go ahead and post your damage. All right, the spirits flitter around, wounding the creatures.
All right, joy, because that's all I can do. So I end my turn.
Oh, actually, I'm sorry, Archgale, you are not actually able to stand up because you were restrained. So it's not a huge difference. You still cast Spirit Guardians, that's fine, but you're still technically prone and restrained.
Oh, that's not good.
I mean, it doesn't really make a difference mechanically right now because you're restrained and prone. They can't stack together, but they both do the same thing.
It should be the
yes, yep,
the-
grace points, yep.
yeah. So I failed the d6, so can't support again. So we'll go ahead and we will Harry 3 points for Harry. So that's going to be I can see. So I'm going to go that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one.
All right,
See
so I'm
all the-
counting 4 Frogashar, 5 Frogashar, and the dwarf. Okay, here comes the saves. All right, the third Frogashar is not affected. The rest of them are.
Okay, and then 2 points of damage centered there, so it should hit those 3 creatures that. So right there.
I'm sorry, that was right here. So you're hitting these 3?
Yep.
All right, got it. All right, here comes deck saves. The first Frogashar will take half, the second will take full, and the dwarf will take full. So that was 6. All right, so he will take 3, and then the other 2 will take the full 6. All right, that was the grace points, and then we move to the next opponent. All right, this is her turn. All right, she is going to go ahead and cast Sleet Storm. She's going to angle it so that it hits all of you guys. Go ahead, Runak, you trying to counter?
Yeah, I'm gonna do counterspell.
Okay, so that means she has to make a Constitution saving throw, which she passes. So make sure you burn that slot, but she is able to cast the spell. So she's going to hit basically this whole area here. And actually, yeah, that's going to get everybody. So the radius on this, 20-foot radius. Yeah, so she's going to be able to angle this to get all of you guys. And it doesn't matter if she hits her people because they're not affected by it besides one of them. So she's going to make sure he's not in it. But the rest of you, you guys will need to give me dexterity saving throws.
I will use inspiration to reroll that.
I'll use my inspiration as well.
Do I need to roll with any disadvantage?
You do not. All right, looking at rolls, everyone has failed this save, which means all of you, as this huge sleet storm falls down, you all get knocked prone, and if you're concentrating, you lose concentration.
Is there any damage, or is it just prone?
No damage.
All right,
All-
that takes away bless for everybody.
All right, make sure to remove bless. Okay, from there, she's going to risk it. She's going to try to move, so she'll move to here. Grim Archgale, if you'd like to make an opportunity attack, you can. Again, this will be at disadvantage. Grim, you will connect. Archgale, you will miss. That is going to wound her significantly, Grim.
And if it matters, she's sapped.
Let's find out. She's trying to get some distance. She'll move to there. Runak, would you like to take an opportunity attack? Also at disadvantage?
Absolutely.
Sure, make your swing. $19 will hit, and with only a sliver of health left, that will kill her.
Does that break the spell?
No, it is not a concentration spell. It is just an effect. All right, next up is Runak. Again, Runak, you're currently prone.
Okay, but I'm not restrained, right? So I can stand.
Correct, you're not restrained.
Okay. Runak will stand, and now that the hag that he was fighting is dead, he's going to instead sort of his eyes turn black and he points his greatsword in the direction of all these creatures, and inky blackness appears. Oh wait, sorry, never mind. I don't have a spell slot because I used on counterspell. So I'm going to instead attack the one next to me with my greatsword.
Okay. 24, that'll certainly hit. $16 damage is enough to kill the Frogashar.
Okay. Since I killed one, I can do a bonus action attack. So I'm going to come to here and do that on this one.
Okay. That is going to miss as the creature manages to duck under your blade.
All right, I'll use the second part of the extra attack on this one.
Okay. That will connect. 18 points of damage. That is going to slay the creature in a single blow.
Okay. I'll keep moving to get into melee with this one. And that's the end of my turn.
Okay, Caliban currently prone. What would you like to do? And if you're talking Caliban, we can't hear you.
How about now?
We can hear you.
Okay, we're gonna surprise everybody and stand up.
Okay.
Then, is there like a cliff wall that we're fighting against here, off the edge of the map? Or...
No, not technically. If you want to move around that edge, you could.
Yeah, that's what I like to do. If I can just pivot around to.
Tell me where you're trying to get to, just because I'll have to slide you.
Yeah, just so I can get flanking with glory.
Okay. Yeah, I can put you there. You're like pseudo off map. You're not going to be able to see much, but yeah, you'll be flanking that creature.
That's fine. Yep. That's just hopefully he doesn't last long. Let's see if we can solve that problem nice and quick. Oh,
Oof,
no.
That's our first fumble in a long time, it feels like. Let's see that fumble roll, Caliban. Quite embarrassed.
Whew. Okay, let's see if we can save that with a second swing. This will be the crit now.
That's going to hit. All right, that is going to wound the Frogashar.
I think I'll use use my only action surge, just because that was sort of embarrassing. I'd love to get back on the map. So I'll use the action surge to try doing that again.
Okay.
15.
That is going to hit with flank.
Oh, good, good, good.
That blade will wound the creature.
Man, using the whole attack just
That'll hit as
to
well.
Kill one little Furby.
Yes, that will be enough to end the creature's life.
And I'll just move into its spot to get back on the big map. And then my turn. Thank you.
All right, next up is this creature's turn. Barnaby, you're going to notice as this little furry creature emerges from the brush, sees you prone there, and is going to attack. Making both these attacks at advantage. 21 and an 18. Let's see, Barnaby's AC is 18. Both of those are going to hit. Here comes some damage. It's going to be a total of 7 points of piercing damage to Barnaby. Okie doke, this one's turn. He's going to scoot up to take a flanking position on Runok and attack Runok twice. That 23 is going to connect, dealing 3 points of damage to Runok. This one is going to make his way up to Runok as well, attacking a couple of times. That 23 is going to hit.
They have disadvantage with the yellow dot, right?
Oh, yes, good call. So 15 on Runok, that'll miss, and then I'll remove the yellow dot.
Oh.
Alrighty, this guy's turn. He's going to make his way up here to Runok, attacking a couple of times. So the 18, that will connect. That's going to deal 6 points of damage to Runak. All right, this one's turn. He's going to come here, attack Runak on a flank. That bite will hit. And then the dagger will miss. It's going to be 4 more points of damage. Alrighty, her turn. Alright, she is going to... She's going to attack you with her claws, Runak.
Okay, I'm gonna give her disadvantage with luck.
Alright, go ahead and spend a lucky point. Remind me, how many lucky points do you have left?
This is my second 3.
Okay. So that 10 is going to miss. After she misses you, she's going to stay right where she's at. This one's going to rush up and attack you there, Runak. Both attacks will miss, and you will take 4 damage from 2 grazes. That one is slain. That one's going to go to there. That one's going to get to there. All right, this one is going to... Actually, both of you are prone, so yeah, it's going to attack you, Grim. First attack straight up because it has disadvantage and you're prone. 19 is going to miss. Second attack's at advantage. And that is going to miss. All right, next up is Laud.
All right, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up. And then I'm going to move 5, 10. Oh boy, there are a lot of creatures up there. Okay, we're going to try to fireball again.
All right, you're going to be attempted counterspelled again. So please give me a Constitution saving throw, just one time this time.
Okay, and I'm going to use Lucky to roll this at advantage.
Post the text of luck for me.
It just says when you roll d20 for a test.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. That is going to fail, and your spell is canceled.
Okay, all right, well, and then I will give Bardic Inspiration to Runak as my bonus action.
Okay, Runak, you're bardically inspired.
And I have, I guess, 4 more feet of movement, so I'll move a little farther back, and that will end my turn.
More of these little furry creatures are getting closer. This one's going to make his way up to Runak and attack on the flank. Critically hitting and then hitting. So critical with your ability, we take the 10, so it's a miss, and then I think you deal damage, right, Runak?
Yes, he takes my, I believe, charisma. Or no, it's double my... Here, let me look it up to make sure. I think it's double my Constitution modifier.
All right, go ahead and do a quick double check. That second hit will land for 6 points of damage.
Yeah, twice your Constitution modifier.
All right, and how much is that?
So that is 6.
All right, so as he thinks he's got a great check on you, he is struck and he is not able to connect. All right, next one's turn. He's going to make his way down.
That's a good question, Laud.
I will try to find that out in a moment. Okay, this one's turn. She's going to move to here. And she's going to use her Icy Embrace. So I'll need Runok, Grim, and Archgale to give me Constitution saving throws. Okay, Runok and Grim will succeed, taking half damage. Archgale, you will fail, taking full damage. Okay, so that's going to be 19 points of damage. And you'll notice that the dwarf also takes some damage and is restrained. That one has been killed.
Help! Help me!
This one's going to push through to here. He's going to take his both of his attacks on Grim. First attack will be straight up. That is going to miss. Second attack's at advantage now. That is going to miss as well. This one's going to move through the brush. That one has been slain. All right, I'm noticing that I missed 2 in my initiative, so I'm going to add them in the next round. All right, this dwarf, who's currently a bit frozen, but Grim's actually frozen as well.
I'm just prone.
Or prone, right, sorry. So that would allow him to attack effectively. Yeah, he's going to actually attack. So he makes 2 melee attacks. These will both be straight up attacks. Both of those attacks will miss as he is unable to get through your armor. All right, that one is slain. We'll move to Glory, and Glory, going to take your turn while I try to do a quick research on Laud's question there.
All right, I'm gonna attack this this one right here.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and make your attack. Yes, Halberd will connect. $22 is exactly how much health it had. It is slain.
All right, that's fine. And I'll attack that one.
All right. That will miss. This little creature is able to evade it.
Polearm strike.
That will connect. And you buttress it, wounding it a bit. All right, moving to the creature's turn. So quick update on the counter spell. I would say you can still bonus action spell because it says with no effect. So it's almost like you didn't cast it, period. So for now, I'd say you can still bonus action spell, and I'll do further research on that later.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Sure thing. Alrighty, this guy's turn. He is going to make his way down to Glory. And he's going to attack Glory. That bite is going to connect. And here's the damage. So, Glory, I believe, is currently raging. With the rage icon on him. All right, that is going to be 2 points of bite damage. And then he's going to graze you for another damage. So a total of 3 points of damage. All right, Grim, currently prone. It is your turn.
Stand up from prone, use half my movement. And I'm going to go after the restrained dwarf.
All right, restrained dwarf. Yes, you managed to connect.
Now he's in ice, right? So I can't really knock him prone.
Yes, and it wouldn't really help you anyway, because you're already getting that benefit.
Okay, second attack on him.
That'll hit as well.
And he'll be sapped as well.
Okay, he is sapped.
Okay, bonus action, second wind.
Alrighty, this guy's turn. He's going to make his way down here and attack Glory. First attack will miss. You'll take 1 point of graze damage from that, Glory. Second attack will hit you for 2 points of damage. Okay, Barnaby.
Everybody else is doing it. I may as well stand up as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and attack the Furby in front of me.
All right.
You guys should have just stayed away.
That is going to miss as the creature ducks. Second attack will connect.
All right, I'm going to use my free smite on him as well.
Is that smite damage already included or no?
No, I got to push it here.
Okay.
He's not undead or anything like that, right?
He is not. He's not undead, no. 16 total
well.
damage?
Yes. That's something. And that'll end my turn.
He is wounded very badly, but still alive. Okay, Archgale, you are currently frozen to the ground, unable to move. What would you like to do?
Is there any way I can use an action to try to break out of my restraints?
Let's see. Yes, you can try to physically break through this, making a strength check if you like.
Ugh.
This would be an action.
It's not like an athletics or acrobatics?
No, unfortunately, no. It's just a strength check as your option. I guess what I would say is you're also reasonably intelligent character. I would say you probably can tell that you could also attack this ice. If you dealt enough damage to it, you'd basically be able to chip it away.
Okay. I can do that.
Just keep in mind you're considered restrained, which means you're attacking at disadvantage, of course.
I assume spells wouldn't do anything to it? Like, ice can't just take radiant damage, right?
Throw me a Arcana check. You're not quite sure how magic ice works in relation to spells.
Okay, well, I guess we're gonna. I guess I'm going to attack the ice with my short sword.
With your short sword. Okay, so you grab your short sword and you're doing the best you can trying to jab the ice off. Go ahead and give me a short sword attack.
Is that with a disadvantage or straight up?
It's with disadvantage. So a 14 is enough to hit. Go ahead and post damage. All right, you jab at this ice with your short sword and you hit the central location. You hear the ice shatters as it completely falls off of you.
Okay, all right. Now we're talking. Now we're back in business. I will use half my action or half my movement to stand up.
All right.
And look at that. There's no icons on myself. You love to see
It's
it.
been a while.
Okay. Then with my bonus action, I will cast Healing Word on myself at the second level.
Okay.
And I will end my turn.
All right, sounds good. And then we'll move to Grace Point.
All right, so that doesn't re-roll. I actually can't tell. Is Runok downed right now, like 0 HP for rescue, or no?
He is not.
Okay. Then what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do 3 points into Harry again, which is disadvantage, and 2 for damage, and I'm gonna let Runok make all the decisions on who's getting targeted because he's kind of in the center and at threat.
Okay.
So go slow for
disadvantage?
me. Yeah, go slow for me, Runak. Pick the ones, point them out one at a time.
Do you want me to just ping them?
Use your arrows, probably easier, so I can follow that a little bit easier. So just as a reminder with Harry, how many points did you say you were spending here, Lod?
3, so it's 6 total creatures for Harry.
Right. So pick 6 characters you're trying to Harry there, Runak. All right, so the top, so from left up the corner, just go around in a circle like that. All right, that makes sense. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's going to be 5 Frogashar and 1 Hag, and that is charisma saves for them. All right, the DC on that was 15, so all the Frogashar are going to fail. The Hag, however, is not affected by the Harry. Okay, so I'm going to add yellow dots to those that were harried and are attacking at disadvantage. That was 3 of the grace points. And then you said 2 on damage, Lod, was that right?
Yes, so you just pick a point, and it's basically everything around it in the 9-block square. And that's just a total of 3d6 damage.
Fiends and friends alike?
Yeah, so everything. It says everything, because I think it's just like an AoE. Like,
Yes.
they're just chucking javelins. They can't aim well
Unfortunate.
enough to possibly miss you.
All right, so we'll do it. Everything around this one.
All right, so I'm seeing you're going to hit 5 creatures, 4 Frogashar, and 1 Hag. So here comes some saves. All right, so those Frogashar are going to fail. And the Hag will as well. So yeah, go ahead and throw 3d6 damage, Runak, and they'll all take that. All right, the javelins come in as a flurry from the Huldra, striking into all these creatures. Okay, that is the grace points. And then we move to the next opponent, this one here. Let's see, he's going to slip in here to attack Grim. Misses that first attack, misses the second. That creature's been slain. We move to Runak, who's currently surrounded. Runak, what would you like to do?
Bonus action. I'm going to second wind. Wow. Underwhelming. I'm in a tough spot here, everybody. And then he's going to attack with his greatsword.
All right, who is your target?
I sort of want to clear space, but I guess it doesn't matter. So he's going to attack the hag.
Okay. Oof.
Oh, no.
Our next second fumble of the night. Let's see that fumble. Oof. Oh, this is like one of the absolute worst ones you can possibly roll. All right. You lose your footing while attacking and slam your head into the ground, probably slipping on some of that ice there. You fall prone, and then you have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
That is success. So you don't take that additional effect. So you essentially fallen prone. You missed, but other than that, you're okay.
And then I stand up. I go, oh, let that be the last thing I'm known for. And I'm going to attack again. This time I will use a luck point to give myself advantage on the attack.
All right, still at the hag?
Yes.
All right, lucky second strike. But that is going to miss, Runak.
No. All right, that's it for me. Yeah,
You-
cross my fingers and say a prayer.
I say you're still in Shanksville neighborhood, so we're going to see what happens.
Oh, I grazed with that last attack, I guess.
Yes.
All right, remind me how much graze is.
4.
All right, you have grazed the hag.
Okay. End of my turn.
All right, Caliban.
Caliban's gonna come a running up here. He's gonna move up to here for 25 feet. And I'd like to. Can I aim? I don't know if we have a cone out, but I'd like to aim my burning hands to, if I can miss Runok, but catch sort of the critters, everything to his left.
Oh, okay. I used to have a Burning Hands template. I don't know if I can track it down real quick.
No worries. I figure I can cone. Let's see if I can do the arrow for you here. Is that the easiest? Broadcast, yeah. No.
Yeah, you should be able to use that pointer and pick like a cone.
Yeah, like kind of from there to there, right? Like I can catch.
1 second. Is it a 15-foot cone?
15-foot cone. Yeah.
So if we start from you, and this is kind of how it goes. If you click on the like measuring icon, you'll see there are options there, and one of them you can pick as cone. I feel like.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Let me see which one is actually correct though.
So you can do degree and then shape. Interesting.
Yeah, so I feel like that's probably the correct one. I think it's supposed to be a 60 degree cone, and do snap to corner for grid snapping. That'll probably be the easiest way to measure.
Then tie it from which corner of my square?
You get to pick the corner, your choice.
All right. I think can I do that? Catch.
Sure. All right, so that's going to hit 5 of them, 3 Frogashar and 1 hag. Go ahead and post your burning hands. All right.
Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Wow, that's bare minimum damage. Rough. Okay.
Give me back my dice.
Oh man, triple one.
That is rough. All right, so I feel like that almost comes out like a little Zippo letter, like psst, you're right. So here comes, here comes 1, 2, 3, 4 Frogashar saves.
It's okay if you hit me. Up the juice.
Yeah, right. Turn it up. Oh no.
And the hag. Okay, so 3 points of damage to the first one. He's wounded. The second one is going to succeed, taking 1 point of damage. Third one fails, 3 points of damage. The last Frogashar succeeds, 1 point of damage. The hag is going to fail, and you're going to notice that she's particularly susceptible to fire damage. She's going to take 6 points.
Isn't that cute?
That could have been so good.
Wait, that's special.
Oh my god. Sorry, Runok, that wasn't quite the rescue mission I thought it was going to be.
And I just remembered I forgot to add these new opponents into combat, so continue with your turn, Caliban, but I'm going to go ahead and throw them in.
I don't think I have anything else I can do. I'm going to end my turn there.
All right, this one here, who is still alive, fighting up against Barnaby. It is going to attack Barnaby a couple times. And this one, in fact, is going to use his bonus action to steady aim and attack both at advantage. That's a 21 and a 17. The 21's definitely going to hit Barnaby, but the 17 will miss. That's going to be 5 points of piercing damage from those little teeth.
And it goes through my temp armor.
Such a cute little fight down there with the gnomes and the little fur babies.
All right.
Yes, it's so nice.
This one's turn. It seems like they're doing a gang up on Runok now, seeing they've got him in a vulnerable position. So here comes a couple of attacks with flank.
This first one's disadvantaged, though, right?
It is, yeah. So he will miss on both of his attacks. All right, this one, same deal. He's going to attack you a couple times. Let's see. Runok is 16, so both of those are going to hit.
I'll use my cutting words to make one of those miss. Right, the second attack I'll use cutting words on.
You're trying to reduce the attack roll.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one's going to hit you. It's going to deal 6 points of damage and knock you prone, Runok. And then the second attack is a 17. What is your bardic die?
It's a D8.
All right, so you're rolling a bard. Okay, so that will make it miss. Remind me how many bard die you have left?
I have 2 left.
2 dice left. All right. Okay, this one's turn. Now attacking the prone Runok. First attack will be straight up. 19 is going to hit. Second attack is at advantage. Critically hits. So the first one's going to do 5 points of piercing. The critical is not a critical, but the 16 still hits you, so that means your ability just cancels the crit, right? Okay?
Yep.
All right, and then 6 more points of damage, total of 11 damage there.
Okay, I'm down.
Okay, that is a bummer, because right away we've got another opponent, and he is going in for the kill. So he is going to attack you twice. First attack. That is going to hit. That is 2 failed death saves. Remind me, does your ghoul subspecies have any special on this?
No.
I think you had like advantage on death saves or something, right? But nothing that stops the crits or anything.
Do you have anything that gives you +1 hit point if you go down to 0?
No, nothing like that.
All right, so the first one is 2 failed death saves. I'm coming in with my next attack here. Do you happen to have inspiration?
No.
I gave you inspiration, unless you used it.
Oh, I have Bard. Yeah, I did use it already.
Well, you have bardic inspiration at least.
Yeah.
Bardic inspiration. I don't think you can use that on his attacks, though, right? That's only on your attacks. So, because this is a very critical moment, does anybody on the team have inspiration left that they'd like to throw Runok's way to try to stave off death here?
Not I.
I used mine.
Ooh.
I'll use mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I also gave one to Grim and one to forget who the other person was.
Yeah, I used
Halloran?
it in this battle.
Yeah, I
All
think
right.
everybody's used it.
Let's put this in your hands, Runok. Unfortunately, no one's got inspiration to share, so roll me 2d20. If you get a 12 on either die, the creature is going to end poor Runok's
Don't do it.
unlife.
Adam just doesn't want to be blamed.
It's a very critical roll, right? Let's put it into the character's hand.
I was a ghoul anyways. Let's see.
All right. Unfortunately, with the dagger attack, he is going to plunge that down into Runok's head and assassinate him or kill him straight up.
Why his head? Why not his chest?
Runok, if I see you walking around again, I'm going to have to shoot you too.
All
He can just
righty.
come back. He's undead. He can come back.
Oh, no.
All right. This one's turn.
No.
All right. She's going to move. And then she's going to unleash her icy embrace. And I'm going to need Caliban, Glory, Grim, and Archgale to give me Constitution saving throws. All right, Grim will fail, Glory will succeed, Caliban will fail. And who are we missing? Archgale? Did we lose Archgale? All right.
He took his dice and went home.
After those rolls, you never know. All right, I'm going to throw this save quickly for Archgale to keep us moving. Oh, there, I see you posting. Whoa, okay.
Oh, okay.
Must have had some lag.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. I think that's what happened. I think I lost the internet for a second there.
No worries. We're going to take your first roll there, which is a 6. That is going to be a failure. So Glory succeeded. The rest of you failed. Here comes that damage. Okay, that's going to be 20 points of cold if you failed, plus restrained by ice. If you succeeded, 10 points. She's then going to move. All right, this guy's turn. He's going to make his way down here, and he's going to attack Glory. He will manage to connect with that dagger. That is going to deal 5 points of damage to you, Glory, and knock you prone. All right, this guy's turn. He's going to move up to here, attack Caliban a couple times. And the first one will definitely connect. Second one's going to miss. So the first attack, Caliban's going to deal 5 points of damage. On the second one, you'll take 2 from a graze, so a total of 7 damage. This guy's going to make his way over here and attack Glory a couple of times at advantage. 23 is going to hit. That's going to be 2 points of damage to Glory. This guy's going to make his way over to here. Noticing Archgale looking pretty wounded, he's going to take a couple of attacks at advantage. But both are going to miss. All right.
Can Archgale precast Revivify on himself in case he goes down?
Unfortunately not. This guy, he's actually going to risk it. He's going to go like this. Grim, would you like to take an opportunity attack at disadvantage? All right, you swing out but do not connect. He is going
Could I take an opportunity attack disadvantage?
You can, yep. That is going to miss as well. All right, he is going to attack Archgale twice with flank and advantage. And both of those are still going to miss because of his special ability. Let me quickly double check. Oh, no. Okay, that doesn't trigger. All right, this guy's turn. He's going to attack Grim. Actually, he's going to move down here. That Frightened's been gone for a while, so I'm going to remove that icon. He's going to attack Grim, flank, advantage. All right, on that second one, when he misses, he's going to use his special ability to make that a 24, and that is going to hit you, dealing 3 points of piercing damage. Laud, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to start by trying to move 5, 10. Okay, so now that I can't see any of them, I hope they can't see me. And I'm going to, once again, attempt to cast Fireball. And we're just going to place this where I can. Let's see. Oops. I can put it there. I don't know if I'm hitting anyway. Hopefully
now remember,
not.
you have to be able to see the center of where you're putting this. So I'm going to draw a line to the center. And if it goes through the rock, it means you cannot put it there.
Okay.
Whoop. Let me change back to a line. Right, so that would be going right through the rock, so you're not going to be able... Let me change snapping to center.
Okay, and if I stand there... Well, if I stand there, then I can...
So, unfortunately, I'm going to have you move back because you can't change where you're casting from after you've already declared. So, let's see. So, I would say you need to move it... You would have to move it, like, over to your right. Try moving it over to your right once. Oh, that'll definitely work, but I think you could probably... Yeah, that'll certainly work.
Yeah, I'll do it there, and
there?
just try to take out as many of these things as I can.
All right, go ahead and post that a damage, and I'm going to double check who all this is hitting.
But wait, you might hit Runok. Oh no.
I'm seeing you're hitting 8 of them.
Yeah, sorry, one sec. Let me find the spell again. 29. It's a DC 16 dex save.
All right, I'm just doing a quick double check on half. Okay, that would be 14. So this one's dead regardless of his save. Move him out of the way. The rest of them will have to make saves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 saves incoming. And I'm sorry, what was your DC? Say that one more time.
It's 16.
All right, so it looks like we had 1, 2, 3, 4 successes and 3 failures. So let me go ahead and apply this damage. All right, the second one is burnt to a crisp. He is slain. And the last 2 are also burnt to a crisp and slain. All right, so the fireball explodes out, scorching everything in this area, and you see a lot of dead Frogashar.
Okay, and then I still have a little bit of movement, so I'm going to move up here now, and then I am going to bonus action Bardic Inspiration on Archgale.
All right. And then make sure you go ahead and burn that spell slot for me.
Yep, I did. So, I am down just the 1 spell slot because everything else has been canceled. And then I'm on my last Bardic Inspiration, and that will be my turn.
All right, we move up to this guy's turn. Let's see, what does he want to do? He's going to approach, and he's going to attack the prone glory. 17 is going to hit glory. That's going to deal 1 point of damage, and then his special ability is he pushes you. So he pushes you to there, then he's going to step forward and attack you a second time. That one will miss. He's going to make his way down and attack Caliban a couple times. And both of those are going to miss. All right, this one's going to rush up and attack Grim a couple of times. Grim is currently restrained, so these are at advantage. Those are both going to miss. Grim, you're going to take 4 points of graze damage. That guy's dead. That guy's also dead. Alrighty, on this turn. Okay, boop, boop, boop. She's going to point her finger. Grim, you're restrained in ice, right? You're not prone?
Correct. Restrained in ice.
All right, she's going to point her finger at you, shooting off a ray of freezing cold. This attack will be at advantage. But it does not connect. Alrighty, this guy's turn. He's going to attack Grim a couple of times. Grim a couple of times at advantage with flank. So that's a 25. That's going to connect. That's going to be 3 points of bite damage. Barnaby, you're going to hear the brush moving all about you as this one's going to pop out on the side and attack you a couple of times.
They just get me right around. I want to move up and help my friends.
They keep finding the corner on you. All right, this guy's going to make his way down. All right, this guy took a bit of a walloping, but he's also been sapped, so he's actually going to take this opportunity to try to break free of the ice. So he's going to try to muscle his way through it. And he does. He breaks out of the ice. And then he is going to, I think, Grim, you've already used your opportunity attack. Is that correct?
That's correct.
He's going to go ahead and step away from you. All right, move to the top of the next round. Guys, this is still going to be a bit of a battle here. So since we're already about 13 minutes over our session time, let's go ahead and pause it here. We'll pick up next week, and we'll see how things go. Hope you guys enjoyed this session. Runak, unfortunately, has fallen. Now, we know the team has Revivify, but they only last a minute. So I suppose there's a possibility that you guys could get to him and revivify him, but you'd have to do that pretty quickly. So what my advice to Runak is going to be, have a backup character ready to go just in case, but there is a chance they could revivify you.
Sorry, Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I thought, I didn't realize you were going to get prone there.
It happens.
I'll get you. I'll get you. Don't worry.
All right, good session, guys. A lot of fun. See y'all next week.
See you next week.
Have a good
Everybody.
night.